And everybody was okay, cause I want to go so I to watch you, that's a guy who was wrong. Crack me when you bet me,
Good morning to you all, and thank you very much for joining us. Today is going to be another fantastic day because in the course of the week there has been so many updates and also a lot of inquiries. So we'll be looking at all that so that it will prevent people like yourselves from making the same mistakes. Like they say, a wise man learn from others. So we're gonna be learning from each other so that we don't repeat the same mistakes, especially when it comes to nationality law of the United Kingdom. If you have just joined the program, just share the program for us. Yes, this is Justice and Law Solicitors bringing you the program live. Join us every Saturday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We are based at 35B, The Link, 49 Ephra Road, Brixton, London, SW2 1BZ. For all your immigration matters, for all your family law matters, for all your employment law matters, make sure that you join us. Justice and Law Solicitors, get in touch and all your legal problems will be sorted. It's a last stop. There is no other like Justice and Law Solicitors. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Today is Saturday, the 21st of November, 2020 of the year of our Lord. Today, there are so many areas that we'll be looking at. I'm not going to go too much into details, but it's important that I point out, the pitfalls where people are going wrong. I get a lot of phone calls every single day about, applications that people have made that has not been successful. And sometimes you look at it and you see a pattern, and for me, it's as a result of not knowing the law, as a result of not understanding the law, And therefore, it is important that we are aware of what is going on. We are aware of what needs to be done. We are aware of, what you have to do in order to avoid some of these problems. Sometimes too, you get people saying that it is not good to have a credit card. It is not good to have a credit card. Today, I'm going to be talking about Section 75, the importance of using a credit card, especially when it comes to consumer credit. The importance of using a credit card. We'll be looking at that. It's important. Today we're going to be talking about so many different areas. And I believe that every area that we're going to touch is going to be beneficial to a lot of people. We will also be looking at the 7-year concessionary policy. If you have a child, the child is born here, or the child has been in the UK for 7 years, and perhaps you would wish to make an application for that child, so that you as a parent can also benefit from it. It's very, very important that we look at that as well, because there are people out here, some people have made the application, it has not been successful, and they are asking themselves, how come that my application has not been successful? I hope, but by the time we finish with today's program, you will get a better understanding of why maybe that application was not successful. Because if you know what is expected, then of course you can also do what you have to do to make it a success application. We'll be looking at 7-year concessionary policy. We will also be looking at application for reconsideration. Say you have made an application for naturalization, the application has been refused, and basically you need to work out, you need to know why the application has been refused, and whether you can make an application for reconsideration. I'm pleased to say that, Justice and Law Solicitors, so far so good. I've done applications for reconsiderations, and all of them has been successful. Not even one application that has not been successful. All the applications that I have made in terms of reconsideration, God being so good, we were able to look at the law, the Home Office rules, and the policies in order to be able to challenge them. And I will say that all the applications that I have made, they have been successful. And justice and law, for me, I always say this: there are 3 types of truth: the real truth, your truth, and my truth. Everyone has got their own truth, their version of truth. So it is important. So for example, you make an application to the Home Office. As far as the Home Office is concerned, their version of truth is the truth, and therefore they can use that to refuse your application. You're probably looking at it and you are thinking, Home Office is wrong, and therefore you are right. This is your version of the truth, and therefore they should have granted the application. And then you have the real truth, which is also sitting somewhere else. And Home Office will be pulling the truth to their side, you'll be pulling the truth to your side, and everyone wants to be right. And in this case, when I talk about the real truth, I talk about the Naturalisation Act, which is the British Nationality Act of 1981. And then you have to look at Home Office policies in relation to naturalization and how they make decisions in relation to naturalization. So that is also the real truth. So Home Office will be using the law to their side, you will also be using the law to your side. And the law, which is the real truth, the ultimate truth, is in the middle, and everyone is pulling that to their side. So just like life, everything that we do, everyone is right, and everyone has got their own version of the truth. So it's important that when you are going to do naturalization application, I will always say this to people: you need to understand the Home Office policy. You need to understand the Naturalisation Act, the British Nationality Act of 1981, what it says. And also you need to look at the Home Office policy. When they are making decisions, what are the things that they are supposed to take into consideration? What are the things that they are supposed to take into account before making decisions? And what is the guidelines? What is it that they can use when it comes to discretion? Can they simply refuse an application because they want to, or they are guided by Home Office guidelines? So it is important that before you make any move, you look at this before you make your application. Many a times, people think the naturalization application is just about filling forms. Just in some aspects, it's just about filling forms, but believe in me, in many cases, it's not simply just about filling forms. It's about knowing the act. It's about knowing the policy and knowing the rules. Because every question that you are asked, believe it or not, there is a law behind it. We call it the curtain rule. There is a law behind it, behind the curtain. So if you don't understand the rules, you will end up basically answering questions that in a way that does not meet the criteria. So many a times people will say that, well, my sister, my brother, we all did the same thing. My application has been refused. His or her application has been successful. And sometimes people say they do not understand. And when they come to me, the first question that I ask is that, did you answer the questions the same way on the application forms? You can have a very, very similar case, but no case is the same. So it is important that before we make such an application, we know what we are doing. If you know what you are doing and you don't need the services of the lawyer to help you, that is fine. However, if you are not sure and you don't know what you are doing, it's important to get the services of a lawyer to help you. Whilst in this country, it is not compulsory to instruct a lawyer to act for you in any legal matter. Once you go in and you make a mistake, once you go in and you get messed up and you go and see a lawyer, you will end up paying more than if you had originally seen a lawyer to do it for you from the first place. Because it's very strange that many a times when people come to you and they are frustrated and they are panicking, they are prepared to pay anything and everything. But yet, why do you have to go and mess the case up, put yourself in all that stress before running to a lawyer to seek remedy? I do not understand, but then again, some people think they need to save their money and therefore they will take the risk, so it's up to the individuals to make their own call on this. However, when you go and mess up and you go to see a lawyer, well, you have to realize that the lawyer have to clean the mess up before they can build a case for you. So instead of the lawyer maybe charging £10, the lawyer will end up charging you £20 because the £10 is going to be used to clean the mess. And £10 is going to be used to build the case, to find a solution for you. So it is important for me, if you are not sure of what you are doing, if you want to succeed from the first place, then get services of a qualified lawyer, such as justice and law solicitors, to lead your case so that you can have stress-free life, so that anything that comes with it, justice and law can sort it out for you. For me, I think it's money well spent doing it that way, but maybe being too, economical with what you need to do. Go in, get your application refused, you don't get your money back, and at that stage, you run to see a lawyer. The lawyer probably will double charge you the fee because of the mess that has been done. And at that stage, you are panicking so much that you are prepared to pay anything and everything. So sometimes you see people complaining that lawyers charge too much. It's not lawyers charging too much. It's just that sometimes some clients do too much mess. And for someone to clean up, then of course you have to pay for it as well. So unfortunately, it's economics. The more time you spend on a case, the more you charge on the case. So let's try and avoid these scenarios occurring from the first place, and especially naturalization. This week, it saddens me that at least I have seen between 5 to 10 people whose application has been refused, running to justice and law for help. And, at least 3 of them, they should not have made the application from the first place because their time was not up to make the application for reasons that I'm going to be talking about today. And I hope talking about today is going to save some people. It's going to save them money. It's going to save them stress. And it's also going to save them hassle. The reason being that if you know you don't qualify at this stage, then you will have to wait until the time is right before you put in your application. Having said that, I do remember someone coming to see me, a pastor coming to see me about 2 years ago. And I told the pastor, look, you will not qualify. You have to wait for 1 year before you can do the application. His argument was that, but when I received my indefinite leave to remain, on the paper, Home Office have written that after 1 year, I do qualify for nationality. And for that reason, I still want to apply. Despite everything that I told him, despite the advice that I gave him, he was calling on his God to come and deliver him. He kept telling me about God. God can do wonders, God this, God that. And what I say to him is this. It's the same God who created me. It's the same God who gave me eyes and brain to think. It's the same God who has directed me to see that this application will not be successful. And therefore, if God is giving you a warning through me that such application will not be successful, but you have to wait for 1 year because of something called character test, and you want to test God in another way, believe in me, application will go and the application is going to be refused. Hold and behold, he still believed in his God. The application went, the application got refused. Because what I said is exactly what happened. And I was glad, but he could not blame me for it because I did advise him against it. I got him to sign a disclaimer. And he signed his disclaimer to explain that he cannot blame me for it because I've advised him against it. When it happened that way, then he had to wait for another year and make a successful application. And it's a mistake that people keep repeating it over and over and over and over. So for that reason, I felt compelled that today I need to spend some time and hopefully I will be able to explain it and people will get a better understanding. I've talked about this before. For whatever reason, maybe some people did not listen to that program. Or maybe, they listened, but they still believe that there was God somewhere who will come and rescue them. But the reality is this. God has given us the power over all things, and therefore we have to make good use of it. We simply cannot say that God this, God that, and basically, tempt God. Don't tempt God, because when God tells you and you don't listen, you're going to get punished for it. If you did not see it, or God did not open your eyes to see it, then you can be excused. It's just like your parent telling you not to do something and still telling your parent that, God is telling you to do it and therefore you are going to do it. But it's the same God who said, honor and obey your parents because that is a blessing in God. So if you worship God, you believe in God, like the Ten Commandments say, thou shalt obey their parents. Because it's a blessing and it will add more years to your life in this world. But if you show no respect to your parent, be careful because it is a curse. So one have to be very, very careful when it comes to parents, when it comes to the elderly, when we are dealing with them. It's very, very important. So today, what are we talking about? Today, the first area that I will be talking about is the character test, nationality, naturalization. Many people have managed to get their indefinite leave to remain, living happily in the UK. The next step is to apply for British nationality. That is naturalization. The question therefore is, how do you qualify for British nationality? There are so many ways in which you can acquire British nationality or British citizenship. But today, I think the focus should be on those people who have stayed in the UK without a visa in the past, or who were living in the UK illegally in the past. One reason or the other, they have managed to obtain their indefinite. There are so many ways, once again, in which you can obtain your indefinite leave to remain. But today, that is not the focus. But the focus is to concentrate on those people who have managed to get their indefinite and who wants to apply for British nationality. And when it comes to British nationality law, the relevant area will, is Section 6 of the British Nationality Act. Section 6 of the British Nationality Act. that deals with adult naturalization applications. When it comes to children, you are looking at British Nationality Act, Section 1, and also Section 3. When it comes to children, when I say children, I mean people who are under the age of 18, 1-8. So today, the focus is on adult application, especially those who have been living in the UK some time ago without obtaining or without having a visa. So in effect, those who were living here illegally, and for one reason or the other, they have managed to get their indefinite leave to remain. Typical example is those people who have obtained their indefinite through long stay, maybe through asylum, maybe through Appendix FM. When I talk about Appendix FM, I am talking for this purpose, I am talking about those who have obtained leave to remain on the basis of discretion or on Appendix FM of the immigration rules. Those people who were living here illegally, or those people who have overstayed their visas in the past, but they have managed to obtain an indefinite leave to remain. This goes for them. The reason why it goes for them is that this week, all the naturalization decisions that has been made, that has been refused, basically is connected to those people who have made such an application. So we'll be looking at that, and I believe that by the time we finish that topic, I believe that mistakes, people will not make that mistakes no more, because it's very sad that people have to work and manage to save about £1,330, and for one reason or the other, they will make an application for naturalization and the applications get turned down or gets rejected. And the sad thing is, once application gets turned down or gets rejected, unfortunately, your money do not come back. Your money just disappears. So it's for this reason that I feel that it is important that we talk about this today, because I, for one, tired of seeing people getting their applications refused on the basis of small technicality of the law. So for me, it's important that people get this understanding so that they don't make the same mistakes. I can understand why people make these mistakes. I can understand why this gentleman was telling me this week that the paper that he received from the Home Office after he was granted permanent residency, the paper made it very clear that you are eligible to apply for British citizenship after 1 year of obtaining indefinite leave to remain. Whilst a time ago this was the case, unfortunately, this is not the case anymore. It may apply to some people, it may not apply to all other people. So it is important, despite the fact that you receive, or you might have received a letter from the Home Office stating that after 1 year of obtaining indefinite leave to remain or permanent residency, you are eligible to apply for British nationality. But what you have to realize is this: the same paper also says that you must seek advice before making an application, because nationality law, and in fact, generally speaking, immigration law, immigration and nationality law in the UK is the fast changing area of law. So if you practice in this area, you all the time you need to be updating yourself, because if not, you're gonna end up applying wrong law, wrong policy, and your applications will be refused. So it is important for me, it is vital that we do understand the changes that comes up all the time. So today, like I said, we'll be looking at, the pitfalls, so that hopefully we'll be able to educate a lot of people. Before I start the program, let me take this opportunity to thank these people who have tuned in and those people who are sharing the program for us. We have Loving Lion, yes, You'll be forever loving Jah, a loving lion. Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. I hope you and the family are doing great. All the time you tune in, and we, like I say, we will keep bringing you the undiluted legal updates in relation to immigration and nationality and employment law in the United Kingdom every week. As long as you continue to support us, we will continue to bring you this program. And this program is brought to you by the courtesy of Justice and Law Solicitors, 35B, The Link, 49 Ephra Road, SW21BZ, Brixton, London, Lambeth. That is where we are based. Our opening hours is from 9:30 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. Anytime, any place, you call us and we will be there for you. When it comes to immigration and nationality law, there is no other law firm that can challenge us, that can match us boot for boot, because we are one of the best, if not the best, within the field. And, like they say, anyone that has tested us will tell you that yes, with justice and law, it is the last stop. So all those people who have joined us, thank you for joining us. Madam Frida Johnson, good morning to you. Vim Lady, Madam Ajay Bar, wherever you are, good morning to you. Madam Abasaki, also thank you for joining us. Mr. Alexander Ofosu, also thank you for joining us. Madam CK, also thank you for joining us this morning. My boss, Baku Pet, Mr. Michael Amma, that is PC, Paradise City. Thank you for joining us, and also thank you for all your support over the years. We do appreciate that. Nana Bob, also thank you for joining us. Cynthia Affair, Edu Buaku, also thank you for joining us. Very soon you will see us at Portsmouth. We are coming down to Portsmouth, yes. So that's how it is. Madam Linda Ajua Owusuwa, also thank you for joining us. Today we will also have a word with Mr. Emmanuel Eshan, Amway product. He's going to be talking about this to us today. They have so many products going on. People say, lawyer, you look younger than even 10 years ago. If you want to know the secret, get in touch with Amway products. At the end of the day, anything that is good is also costly. Anything that is bad is cheap. That is law of economics. So for example, any economics will tell you about luxury product. They will also tell you about the demand and supply curve. And they will also talk to you about the abnormal demand curve. So when you do economics, you come across all these terms. When something is good, believe in me, the price goes up a bit. When it's not that good, the price is down. So when you look at the demand and supply curve, it's like that. Because as it's cheap, more people are buying it. So you will see that the demand is going up and the supply will also be going up, because a match boot for boot. But when it's cheap, you will see that it's always this abnormal demand curve. But when it is a luxury, when it's expensive and it's quality, you will see that the supply is very less and also the demand is very less. But however, when it comes to durability, it's very, very important. Today, we will also be looking at propaganda and the social media. How people can use propaganda, to promote their own ideas and fantasies. It's very, very important, because today we'll be talking about Consumer Rights Act, Section 75, and how people can use the media to manipulate, to present falsehood. It's very, very important that we become critical of what we see, of what we hear, and what we buy, especially. So it's very, very important. Goebbels, and I believe if you have come across Goebbels, or maybe you have learned a bit about Nazi Germany, the propaganda manager or the minister was called Goebbels. And he once said, if you are going to lie, lie big. Repeat it, and continue to repeat it. Fools will believe it, but the wise will criticize, the wise will read in between the lines, and the wise will say that, why are you bombarding me with this? Goebbels once said, when you are going to lie, lie big, keep repeating it, and people may believe you. But it's all an instrument of oppression or an instrument of manipulation. And it's all an instrument to be able to influence people for them to think the way you think. So today we're going to be looking at Consumer Rights Act and how we have been bombarded with falsehood, wrong information through social media, and why the law has been made to protect us from this propaganda, from these lies, from this propagation of falsehood. It's very, very important. Today, in our community, when you talk about credit card, some people frown upon it, that credit card is not good. I will tell you the importance and the good side of credit card and the protection that it can offer you. So if you are eligible for credit card, for me, it's a good thing. It doesn't mean you have a credit card, so you have to use it. You don't need to use it. You have to be disciplined. That is the key. Because if you are disciplined, you will not abuse the credit card, but you can use it effectively in order to be able to offer yourself protection. It's very, very important. We'll be looking at that because it's a case that has come before me, and I feel that I need to explain this to our people and how effective a credit card can be and how credit card can also protect you. And I'll also talk about new fraud that has come up. You know, and I have someone very close to me was nearly done through this new credit card fraud. But lucky, I sensed it, that this is fraud. This is fraud. Call the bank straight away. As soon as the person called the bank confirmed that money is being transferred from her account. Over £10,000. And today I'm going to show you how the criminals were doing it and how convincing it is. So just in case you come across this, then be very careful. This week I received a call from no one. Straight away he started talking. I said, hold on. You just called my phone. You have not introduced yourself and you are asking me questions. You know what? Just put down the phone. I put the phone down on the person straight away because these criminals, they will call in and they will speak of authority. You see, but the reality, no one has got authority over anyone. God created man and he gave man dominion over all things. So do not allow someone to have authority over you or control over you, or do not allow someone to manipulate you. So these criminals, that's how they operate. So we will come to that when we come to the consumer credit and section 75. So now let's start the program in terms of nationality and the areas that I think is important that we cover. Before I start the program, let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge Mr. Dan Yeboah Jr. Thank you very much for tuning in. Mr. Ishen, also thank you very much for tuning in. Mr. E.K. Osei, Mr. Emmanuel Kwejo Osei, Wolverhampton. When you say, and I pay what tuning in, I will show you live from my living room. We're doing it from the studio. Why am I not doing it from the studio? Because we are on a lockdown, COVID-19. I need to protect me and I also need to be protecting others. It's called responsibility, social responsibility. I own responsibility to people around me, and I believe that they also owe responsibility to me. Maybe you may see some people doing a program because of maybe their lifestyle. They are not exposed to maybe people, and therefore the contamination or the risk is very, very slim. But unlike Lawyer Darko, I see people almost every day. I see people all the time, different people. And therefore, I will say I am one of those at a higher risk. And therefore, I need to protect those who come to the studio. And it's for that reason and that reason alone, that is the reason why I'm doing the program at home. If anything else, I owe those people who come there, who are able to come there, a duty of care. And it's called responsibility. And it's the right thing and the sensible thing to do. And that is what I'm doing, and I'll continue to do that until we get ourselves, until we get rid of this virus, because God being so good, we are still able to bring you live program and the show. So we appreciate you, and we thank you very much for all your support. Kwabena Ofori, you've also joined us. Mr. Bright Desmond, also thank you for joining us. We do appreciate you all for joining us. And I believe that when you join us, you will also share the program for us. Christina Ntiwa, wherever you are, we do appreciate and we also thank you. Now, let me start the program. Madam Cynthia, you need to get in touch. Everything is sorted. Cynthia Offer, sorry. I've got about 4 Cynthias there. I nearly forgot. Madam Cynthia Offer, you need to get in touch. Everything is sorted now. And, you know, basically, I've got everything now. So get in touch, or we will get in touch at some point. Also, DJ A, thank you for joining us. We do appreciate all your support, for your encouraging words. You know, we do appreciate you all. You know, so let's start the program, and also thank all those people who have been able to join us. A lot of people tell me that because of work, they are unable to join live. It doesn't matter. Anytime you can go and do a playback. For me, my aim is to educate people. You know, people are educated. People get the necessary information so that it can help them some way, somehow in their lives, so that it can make a very good impact. You know, there are so many people that we are impacting that we don't even know. And I believe by sharing the program, you are also impacting in someone's life. You know, being godly is not just about preaching the word of God. Being able to show your brother a way to make a living is also blessing. Mr. Kojom Piani, also thank you very much for joining us. Long time. I hope you are doing well. You know, like Jesus said to the disciples, give a man a fish, you feed a man one day. But give a man a net, you feed him forever. You see, it's very, very important that we show people the way so that they don't get themselves in a mess. Once they, you know, you show them the way and they don't get themselves in a mess, they are able to move faster and achieve better things in life. So I always believe giving someone something should not, must not be quantified onto material. For someone to spend even 1 minute of his life on you, that is a blessing. For someone to tell you, don't put your feet at the wrong corner, that person is saving your life. Because putting your leg in a one corner or the wrong feet at the wrong place could have set you back to 10 years. But for someone to give you maybe one simple advice, that would have set you back for 10 years. Make a lot of difference in our lives. So today, the character test, let's look at that. British Nationality Act of 1981 mentions that, you know, in order for the UK government to grant you British citizenship, you must be of a good character. The sad thing is, the law does not define what is a good character. This is where propaganda comes in. When someone is questioning someone's motives and someone's character, you know, it's very, very important that we understand this. When I say good character, what is good character? Put 10 people in a room and ask them, what is a good character? Put 10 people in a room. Let me take an action and ask them whether the action that I have taken, regardless of what action, the action that I have taken, was it lawful? Was it morally right or was it morally wrong? You will see that people will come out with conflicting answers. Why is it the case? Because a good character is subjective. It depends what individuals may deem to be a good character. But when it comes to law and naturalization, it is objective. Or someone would argue it's subjective and objective. One may have done something, an act or a conduct, and the person, when you are applying a good character test, the question that you will ask, did the person who did the act, if you adapt these principles, believe me, it will help you to make good judgments on individuals. When you hear propagandists, it will help you to make good judgment. When you are criticizing someone, it will help you to make decisions. When someone is trying to indirectly influence you with falsehood, lies, and propagandas to make right decisions, it is very, very important. Because if you are not careful and you allow yourself to be bombarded with propaganda and lies, you end up believing those lies. It is for this reason that Goebbels, a propagandist for Adolf Hitler, during the Hitler regime in the 1930s and 1940s, they were able to use propaganda to manipulate people, for people to accept that gassing another human being is right. It's okay. You have to get rid of non-whites in Nazi Germany. A lot of people believe that it was the right thing to do because, like Goebbels himself said, if you are going to lie, lie big. Keep repeating it, repeating it, repeating it, and repeating it. Fools will believe you. So when someone is bombarding you with information, and repeating, just use Nazi Germany, Goebbels, his propaganda machine. That keep repeating it, repeat it, and people may believe you. No matter how lie it may be. So it is important that that when we hear news, or when we see something, or when we are condemning, when we are looking at character, we become subjective and objective, apply both tests, and it will help you to make the right call. So when it comes to the law, nationality, you need to look at the subjective and then the objective. What the Home Office will be looking at, this person has done this act. It is recorded against him. When the person was doing it, was the person aware that what he was doing was wrong? In criminal law, we call it the policeman test. Was the person aware what he was doing was wrong? And if the person was not aware, would any reasonable person think that what the person did was wrong? So sometimes you can have two applications. Nationality. Both of them may have committed the same offense. They put in the application and one is successful, one is not successful because of how cases are presented. It's very, very important. So, UK Border Agency, Nationality Act have introduced something called the character test. The law itself does not define what is a good character. And therefore, when you look at the Home Office policy, they have set out what they may deem to be a bad character, what they may deem to be a good character. I'm not going to go through all of it, but the most important area that I need to focus on today is illegal entry and overstaying your visas. At least I've seen about 10 applications this week. People have come to me, they want me to apply for reconsideration for them. After going through some of them, I will be able to do it. In fact, one of them, I've got all the documents that I am in the middle of preparing to do it. And I know that I'll be successful because I have gone back to their policy and I have gone through stage by stage approach, how the caseworker should have approached the case and how the caseworker should have made the decision, or perhaps should have come back and asked for clarification about some aspects of the person's immigration history. But the caseworker did not do that. The caseworker simply went ahead, made some assumptions based on what he has seen to conclude that the person was in work whilst the person was illegal in the UK at some point over the last 10 years. And for that reason, the person did not meet the character test. Hence, the application is refused. I believe that it was a rash decision. The decision is wrong and I'm going to challenge it. And I know I will be successful. You know, I'm not just saying that because I'm bragging. I am not bragging. It's a fact. I have confidence in myself and I have belief in myself that I can do it for this person and I am going to do it for this person because I know that we have the Lord Almighty God on our side. You know, so I believe I've given the person assurance that, you know, it shall be well, because not long ago, I did very similar thing for someone and I gave the assurance to the person that application too has been successful. And for one reason or the other, Home Office are refusing people based on the same thing. And I'm wondering why. That hence the need for me to talk about this today. Character test. Home Office guidelines suggest to us or tell us that if you make an application for nationality and at the time of the application, within the last 10 years, you have remained in the UK without a visa, or you have overstayed your visa within the last 10 years, then the application should be refused. That is the Home Office policy. Okay, that is fine. The law says that if you have been living in the UK within the last 10 years and you are making an application for naturalization, and during the last 10 years you have overstayed your visa in the UK, or you at some part you did not have a visa in the UK, you were living here illegally, any application that you make should be refused. That is the general law. That is fine. And therefore, if you are going to make an application, you need to look if the application is being submitted today. Today's date is the 21st of November 2020. That means you need to go back 10 years as at 21st of November 2010. And what you need to ask yourself is this: from 21st of November 2010 to 21st of November 2020, within that 10-year gap, were you living in the UK without visa? During the 10-year gap, have you overstayed in the UK? If the answer is yes, then I will tell you, I will advise you that maybe you should pause making an application for naturalization unless one of the exemptions apply. Today, I'm not talking about the exemptions, but I'm talking about the character test and how to avoid your applications getting refused. So, all that I say to you is this: in this regard, make sure that when you are going to do an application, make sure that within the last 10 years, you had a valid visa. Or if you have been in this country for more than less than say 10 years, so you have been here for 5 years as an example, you came in through marriage to a British national or EE citizen. In that case, you came in with a visa. When you came in, you made sure that within the 6 months you applied for your 5 years, and before the expiry of your 5 years, you apply for your indefinite leave to remain. If that is the case, then after 1 year, you can apply for nationality. That is why the letter that you get, it tells you that after 1 year, you can apply for nationality. It applies to only those people because they have not breached the immigration rules within the last 10 years as at the date of the application. So therefore, to them, as soon as they finish 1 year, the rules is that you must have permanent residency for 1 year or indefinite leave for 1 year before you apply for nationality, provided that the person does not have any criminal record, provided that the person has passed the life in the UK test and the English test. The person, have not done anything that put his character into question. Those individuals can apply after 1 year. So the standard letters that you get when you get your permanent residency apply to those people. It does not apply to everyone. We need to pay attention to this. So the person who was asking me that the letter says that after 1 year you can apply for indefinite British nationality, the answer is that you cannot, because in your case, you were living in the UK illegally until 2013 when you got your first 5 years. And after spending the 5 years in 2013, it brought you to 2018. And after 2018 to 2019, you got your indefinite. So in your case, you have been living in the UK lawfully from 2013. And in that case, I suggested to you that you have to wait until 2023. Because by the time that you get to 2023, you would have completed 10 years lawful stay in the UK. In that case, if you make an application, they will not refuse you. However, if you don't listen to my advice and you go and do the application, I can bet you your application is going to be refused because you were living in the UK unlawfully between 2010 to 2013, and therefore you will fail the character test. It's as simple as ABCD. Mark my words. They are going to refuse you. Don't do it. Wait until 2023. For me, I will tell you the truth. If you don't like it, that is the truth. There is only 3 types of truth. And also, like Greeks said, you know, Greeks, our civilization, we took a lot from them. Greeks said there are 3 types of people. And this is just by the way. And it will help us to understand human nature. Greeks once said there are 3 types of people. And the first people are called what the Greeks called it, not me saying it, are the idiots. And when they mean by idiots, idiots are people who are consumed by their own self-belief and their own self-proclamation, that they don't listen to anyone, they only listen to themselves. And they believe that whatever they do, whatever they say is right. Everyone is wrong. According to the Greeks, these people are called the idiots. They don't take anything from anyone. What they think, what they feel is right, and they will do it even to die. They are called idiots, according to the Greeks. They believe in themselves to the point that they don't take anything from anyone. When you are advising them, when you are telling them, if you put a gun to your head and you shoot it, it's going to kill you, they will still say that, well, I believe I'm not going to die. And they will put a gun to their head and they will shoot themselves. According to the Greeks, these are called the idiots. And the second group is called the idiots. And the second group is called the tribalists. Those people are so tribalistic that within their corner, within their circle, everything that they say is what they believe. They will not listen to anything from outside, apart from what is within. Those people are called the tribalists. How wrong they are, they will still push and pretend to be right. They are called the tribalists. And according to the Greeks, the ideal people are called the citizens. A citizen is someone who is prepared to listen to others. A citizen is someone who is prepared to listen to a voice of reason, opposing views. The tribalists, if you are not with them, you are against them. They will not listen to anybody. But the citizens are open to discussion. So the job that we do, some people will come to you. You will tell them this is not going to help you. They will go and do the same thing. And in English colloquial language, you look at these people and you say, what an idiot. So that's the Greek version of some type of people. So I will say to you, don't fall within the first category. If you are listening to me now and you know that you have breached the immigration rules within the last 10 years, you were living here within the last 10 years unlawfully, and you want to apply for British citizenship today, don't do it. The Greek will say, don't fall within the definition of the eyes. It's very, very important. People have come to me, you advise them, they don't listen. They will go somewhere else and they will go and make that mistake. And the funny thing is, they will have the guts and they will still come to you, help me. I've done a mess. Meanwhile, you have been told that it will not help you, don't do it. Because I know that it's going to go wrong, and when it goes wrong, there is nothing that we can do about it. So it's very, very important that we don't fall within the first category of what the Greeks will call the idiots. Because if the information is there, the advice is there, that don't do it, it's not going to be successful. The policy is there, it has been read to you, and you still want to do it, you're going to throw your money away. Like the Bible says, the fool soon depart with his money. Let's be clever, let's be wise, and let's be economical, because it's very, very difficult, to come across money, to save money, £1,330 just to go and throw it away. And the funny thing is, when they throw it away, they say that these people are wicked. Why are they wicked? The policy is there. We've told you that you don't qualify and you still done it. What do you expect them to do? They will refuse you. So please, let's be citizens. Let's listen to others. Let's, go out and gather information before we do applications. Because if not, we will soon depart with our money. And the Bible says what? Fools soon depart with their money. Let's be clever. Let's be clever about our money. So, nationality, character test, we've got to be very, very conscious of this and be aware of this. Because it's very unfortunate. This week, at least about 10 people, £1,330 times 10 add it up. You know, you're looking about £13,000. So that £13,000, if we have put that money into a charity to be sent back home, even to build or to buy a plot of land for someone who is vulnerable, for me, that is a progress. So we've got to be very, very careful with our money. Because at the end of the day, if you do wrong application, it's simply going to be refused and you don't get your money back. So it is important that we do what? We seek advice from competent people like myself, justice and law solicitors, and we can do justice for you. In some cases, I will say this. In some cases, I have been able to help people, even though at some point they were living here illegally. At some point, they were told to come and report to the Home Office. So if you are one of those people, your nationality application has been refused, and Home Office were aware of your existence in this country, and they did not ask you to come and report, and your application for nationality has been refused, despite the fact that you were living here unlawfully within the last 10 years in some part, and Home Office were aware of your presence. If you fall within that category and your application for nationality has been refused, come to Justice and Law Solicitors, because I believe that we'll be able to help you. Because for me, we study the law. For me, we look at the loopholes. For me, we look at the exceptions. And then we are able to fight Home Office at their own game. So if you have made an application and unfortunately it has been refused on the basis that within the last 10 years you were living here unlawfully, or perhaps your visa expired, then of course, in some cases, we may be able to help you. So get in touch with us, Justice and Law Solicitors. Our telephone number is 07538 969 589. That's our mobile number. Our office line is 0207 993 5976. In that case, take the number. Do not ring and ask questions. Book an appointment and come and see us. Because at the end of the day, if you're looking for free advice, you have to go to Citizens Advice Bureau. And I'm only here. I'm happy to give free advice here. But once I go to my office, we are also running business. We've got bills to pay. And therefore, we cannot continue to give free advice during our office hours, whilst others have paid us to do jobs for them. You know, Justice and Law, we are so busy that even the 24 hours is not long enough hours in a day. Believe in me. You know, God being so good, and through also your promotions, you know, people are coming to us from different angles, you know, and mainly that I'm doing the best that I can to do this program in English, because they are also watching us and they are bringing people from their communities. So talking about that, I will also take this opportunity to thank Nanahima Theresa Sakwabia. Also, thank you very much for all your support and for your referrals over the years. You know, I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you all enough. And also Santa Cruz. Also, thank you very much for joining us every Saturday. I monitor the program and I know that every Saturday you are always there supporting us spiritually, physically, and also sharing the program, and for your encouraging words all the time. We do appreciate you as well. Thank you very much. So it's important that when it comes to the character test, we make sure that at the time of submitting the application, we have not been in breach of the British immigration law by overstaying, by entering into a sham marriage, by, you know, by not aiding illegal entry to the UK, also by not having a criminal record, which has not been spent. So it is important that this particular area, character, we actually understand, because if not, then of course, it's not going to help us. Every time that you make an application, it's going to be refused. 10 people who have contacted me just in a week, you can imagine, they have gone and thrown away about £13,000 because one application cost 1,330. So all those 10 people who have come to me alone, you can imagine. If I can have 10 people coming to me in a week, you can imagine the number of applications that are getting rejected or refused on the basis of character. So immigration, nationality, and laws in this country We should not joke with it. It's not as simple as A, B, C, D as some people see it. So that's what I can say in relation to nationality. And also what we need to realize is this. Once your application for naturalization is refused, we need to understand that you don't have the right of appeal. Instead, you have the right to apply for reconsideration. That is fine, but you don't have the right of appeal. Application for reconsideration, basically, you need to be able to demonstrate to the Home Office that the decision that they have made is not sound. It contradicts their own policies, and it contradicts nationalization law or nationality law. This is application form for reconsideration. I hope you can see it on the screen. Form NR-Nationality Reconsideration. And when you are making an application for reconsideration, Home Office charge a fees of £372. If your application for reconsideration is successful, they will give you your money back. If it is not successful, once again, you don't get your money back. So you can imagine you could end up spending about £1,600 and over, and still your application will not be successful. So the question is, why put yourself into this situation? Why put yourself, into this stress? Home Office request for reconsideration. Let me show you this. Once you are making the application for reconsideration, they will ask you obvious questions. Various questions, as you can see on the screen. This is what the Home Office will ask you. So let's go through. They will ask you for your four names. That's your first name, middle name, and also your surname. And they will also ask for your date of birth, your Home Office reference number, your address, your daytime telephone number, your email. And if you have a representative, your representative's details. That is what it is. And then you will have to sign it and write your name and date it. And also you need to put in your grounds why you think that the decision is not sound in law. Unfortunately, they have only about 1 page for you to put your submissions. And Lawyer Darko, when I write, I just don't write. I write deep because I need to convince the reader that I am right, they are wrong. And for that reason, I make sure that I use my letterhead to put in the arguments. The reason being that sometimes, when you are doing your own application and someone is looking at it, if you are not careful, the person will not give it the respect that it deserves. But when it comes from a lawyer and the lawyer is talking law, the lawyer is making references to their own policy, the lawyer is quoting them, directing them to the right policies, then of course, it's very easy to convince the Home Office that what they've done is wrong and therefore they need to rescind the decision. So we've been very, very successful. I would say that justice and law so far is 100% success rate. And I'm just not here saying it. The evidence is there. Anyone that has come to us for us to apply for reconsideration will be able to testify to this. Like I say, if I'm going forward and it's not going to work, I will not bother myself. I'll tell the person not to do it. But for the person to wait until such time that the time is right. Because every reconsideration that we've done, we have been successful. So it is important that, before you set foot to do such an application, you get in touch with Justice and Law, the #1 solution to your legal problems. So that is what we do. Now, someone asked about nationality. That now, when you apply for your nationality and it's successful, they will take your card from you. So if they take your card, how do you prove that you have indefinite leave to remain? Yes, I told the person to watch the program this Saturday, and I believe the person is watching the program. Yes, it is true. Why is that the case? It is the case because UK have a policy that its citizens, they must not store their fingerprint and their biometrics. Simple. That is UK policy. At the moment, the UK government only store biometrics, for foreign nationals. And therefore, as soon as you become British, you are no longer recognized or seen as a foreign national, but part of British citizens, and therefore they need to destroy the fingerprint. And it is for this reason that they ask for your card that has got either permanent residency or indefinite leave to be sent to them so that they can destroy it and also destroy the information that they have taken about your biometrics from the system. So that is the reason why it is the case. So if that is the case, and that is the reason why it is the case, then of course, once you become citizen, you have to do what? You have to send it so that they can then destroy it, so that it will comply with British law. Then the question therefore is, how do I prove to someone that I have indefinite or the right of abode to be in the UK? Once again, it's very simple. There is an application that you can make, application for the right of abode, in which Home Office will issue you with the necessary documentation. So just in case you want to travel, then of course you can use that. So for example, in this case, you are also a British citizen. The country that you are from, you could obtain their passport because some countries accept dual nationality. Some countries like Ghana, Republic of Ireland, they accept dual nationality. So once you obtain that passport, then this is what you do. You can then apply for the right of abode, this type of visa. As you can see, I hope that you can see from the screen. This is an example, you know, the right of abode visa, so that if you need to use your country's passport, you can then use that to travel if you are going to your country and you don't want to obtain a visa in your British passport. So this is an example. So this one says that certificate of entitlement to the right of abode. So this is sample that I have just shown you on the screen, and the remarks is that valid for presentation at UK port within the validity of this passport. So that is how it is. Within the validity of this passport. So if you are going to apply for right of abode, I will encourage you to do a new passport, because if your passport has got only 1 year left and you apply for right of abode, they will tie it to your passport for 1 year. So after 1 year, you then have to do a new passport and apply for another right of abode again. And every time that you do it, you're going to pay for it. And Lawyer Darko, if you come to me, anytime that I do it, I will charge for it because I'm doing it again. So this is where economics comes in. There is nothing wrong with being economical. There is absolutely nothing wrong applying basic common sense economic principles. Everyone applies economics. Because for me, what sense does it make if your passport has got only 1 year left and you have to go and apply for right of abode and it's put in your passport for 1 year and then it expires? You don't use it to travel and therefore you waste your money. If doing that means you are stingy, don't be stingy. Then be stingy and save your money because it's sensible to do so. You know, so it is very, very important that we apply economic principles. We all do economics. So if someone tells you that you are stingy, see that as a term of endearment rather than seeing it in a form of negative ways. Because if you are not stingy and you are not sensible with your money, you fall within the definition of idiot, according to the Greeks. So it is very, very important that, you know, we apply common sense and also we apply economic principles in everything that we do. So it's very, very important. For me, I would advise you not to do it, because if your visa or your passport is going to say 2 years left and you apply for right of abode, it makes no economic sense. I would rather apply for a new passport and use that passport to apply for the right of abode, because at least it will give me 10 years. And that 10 years in a long term is cheaper. How much does a passport cost? Why should I have to wait for my passport to expire before I do need another one and apply for right of abode if I need to use the right of abode today? Instead, I would rather apply for a new passport today and pay £180 or £150 and get a 10-year passport and cancel the old one so that I can apply for right of abroad, which will be 10 years, so that I can have the benefit of it. This is called economics, sensible economics. So it is very, very important that everything that we do, we have to be economical. There is absolutely nothing wrong if someone tells you that you are stingy, if you know that you are applying common sense and basic, decent economic principles. It's very, very important that we apply economic principles in everything that we do. So for me, it is important. Right off abroad, you can always apply after you have obtained your British citizenship and your indefinite card, or your indefinite has been cancelled, or the card has been chopped off. Or you can always apply for right off abroad. Because right off abroad shows that you have the right to come in and go as you please indefinitely. So it's important that we understand that. Okay, now let's look at this as well. The second area that we want to talk about will be let me catch up. All those ringing, unfortunately, I am on air. I will not be able to answer until we activate the telephone lines. It's very, very strange. Every time you are on air, that is where you get a lot of these phone calls. And sometimes, you know, they know you are on air, but they will still be calling you. I don't know how to. But anyway, there you go. Unfortunately, I cannot answer. Once I finish the program, I will be able to hopefully call you all back. Whilst you are on air, it cannot work that way. So I'm sorry about that, all those calling. I haven't been able to answer. Today is Saturday. Officially, we don't work. We will do the best that we can to answer your phone calls as soon as we can. That's the way it is. Now let's go to the second area that we're going to be talking about today. All right, second area that we would like to talk about today. Okay, just bear with me a moment. The phone calls have just messed up my head a bit, but I will come to it. Let me just look at my notes, and we will continue with the program. Whilst we are waiting, you know what, let me take an advert, get something to drink, and then gather my thoughts. Those people texting, this is what you are doing to me. You are confusing me. There we go. Don't call us whilst we are on air until we activate the telephone lines. Obi, I'm on phone TJ. I'm on phone TJ cry. And yet they walk around on OT. No, who actually an open solution. Yet yes, but I'm on for so benefit from the program in Tebestem P. Say about air, Mumbe with us. Now work with us so that we can all help each other. Cause anybody so no Fred non-stopper. Ayana bufukakra, I have to say. Not in a rude way, but that is a fact. Bufu. So Ghana for the kind of plain I saw when you sana etie, but you should then for Fred giddy Diana take a cry. And Tebestem P. Mutie and Mammo Shay, Ayana Moyan to was especially say your air, Ofra Ayana, you're confused, Kakra. It messes up what we are doing. So let's take a commercial break. Hopefully, by the time I come back, I will gather my thoughts, and we can then continue with the program. We thank you for tuning in anyway, and let's take the commercial break. We'll be back within the next few minutes. Right.
It's in a paradise city. Yeah, did this beautiful ultra-modern city, Abatema, Community 25, Whooper Standard, Executive, Semi-Executive Quality Buildings, Yeni Paradise City, Yewa Homao, it's as a dear brochure Abagana, your payment terms no so, and a phone book call, open a self-finance, and ask a mortgage, for Paradise City, away your telephone numbers, so UK, +447 908 475 802. Paradise City. Yejuma pa magana yefe ankasa. Megafone, we yamanka, wow, die papa be our Ghana, and so a num no cry asantino, who send ya, who bet my misika, say yes, what you mount. It's in a paradise city. Yeah, did this beautiful ultramodern city Upper Tema Community 25 Whooper standard executive semi-executive quality buildings that yeah paradise city yeah home out it's as you dear brochure Abagana your payment terms no so and a phone book call open a self finance and as a mortgage for paradise city oh your telephone numbers so UK +447 908 475 802 paradise city. Juma pa amagana yefe ankasa.
That God has a covenant with you. Therefore, you shall never be put to shame. For how any say and a wooing, justice and law solicitor said, Bomadiana brand and your medi home como, Umbema a futu, Nasay idea so to one more, Umbe bow no to one more. Immigration and answer nationality problems. Say a student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Chroma, and now lawyer been watching our name or court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues. Drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy canon persuade amount. And you near Kawakuma to him now how you know to a trap. But what any justice and law solicitors for Nkasa 07538969589 and I say 0207-738-5841. But Modiana Fred Justice and Law Solicitors na yenhwe kwanya yebefaso yebe wow. Obe home ewo Unit 35 Eurolink Business Center 49 Efra Road Brixton SW21BZ. Na kaisa we have Victoria Line to Brixton. Bus 2 3 37 415 432 689 and 619. Siwa St. Andrew's Church Pastor. Sepa Emra Semodia baby here any justice and law solicitors. That God has a covenant with you. Therefore, you shall never be put to shame. For how any say and a wooing, justice and law solicitor said, Bomadiana brand and your medi home como, Umbema a futu, Nasay idea so to one more, Umbe bow no to one more. Immigration and answer nationality problems. Say a student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Chroma, and now lawyer been watching our name or court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues. Drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy canon persuade amount. And you near Kawakuma to him now how you know to a trap. But what any justice and law solicitors for Nkasa 07538969589 and I say 0207-738-5841. But Modiana Fred Justice and Law Solicitors na yenhwe kwanya yebefaso yebe wow. Obe home ewo Unit 35 Eurolink Business Center 49 Efra Road Brixton SW21BZ. Na kaisa we have Victoria Line to Brixton. Bus 2 3 37 415 432 689 and 619. Siwa St. Andrew's Church Pastor. Sepa Emra Semodia baby here any justice and law solicitors. That God has a covenant with you. Therefore, you shall never be put to shame. Oh yes, justice and law solicitors bring you true justice that gives you peace of mind. They are specialists in all cases of immigration and nationality law, including customary marriage and ECC applications, landlord and tenant issue or housing issues, divorce and financial arrangements, drafting of legal documents such as statutory declarations for lost passports, personal injury, will writing, employment issues, letting and leasing arrangements. Talk to the experts today. Don't attempt any legal issue without them. Take advantage of their free free consultation on some cases and be informed. You can call Justice and Law Solicitors on 02077385841 or email legal@justiceandlawsolicitors.com. They are located near Caris or Halford, the Unit 35B Eurolink Business Center, 49 Efra Road, Brixton, SW21BZ. You can travel by the Victoria Line to Brixton and by bus 2, 3, 37, 415, 432, 689 and 690. The bus stop is St. Matthew's Church. Justice and Law Solicitors don't handle a legal issue without contacting them. Oh,
yes, thank you very much. We are back. I've gathered my thoughts, so let the ball flow. We are going to be looking at immigration law update or policies that are coming up from 2021. Mr. Moses Boama, thank you very much for joining us. He said a text, can you please elaborate more on the idiot and the citizens with more answers, please? I can see most of communities misconstruing idiots and the citizens all the time. Or can you talk a bit more about it? It's more philosophical, so maybe we will leave it for another day, but I will give examples of, I've already given examples and the Greeks' understanding of human nature and humanity. But it's also important that, we reflect from the past, to be able to see what is happening around us in the future. So I have posted something to you, giving a bit of an explanation. I will use an example in America, what is going on. After elections, one party has lost, and the leader of the party, everything that he's doing, people are saying all sorts. And for me, if I apply the same principles of the Greeks' understanding of humanity, of human nature, he falls within one of those. So I will leave that for you to put him into that category. The Greeks, 3 types of people: the idiots, the tribalist, and then the citizen. So I did explain, when they say idiots, the type of people who fall within the definition of idiot. Idiot is someone who doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't listen to any advice. He just wants to do whatever he wants to do. Whether right or wrong, he still wants it to be right, even though it is wrong. Everyone is condemning it. As a typical example is happening in America before our eyes. In this 21st century, nobody thought this would happen in America. Most of the time, people associate this with third world countries and dictatorship, and it's very strange that this is happening in America. So it shows that it's in human nature. So you need to know the type of person that you are dealing with. So when you are dealing with anyone, you need to ask yourself, does this person fall within the idiots or the tribalist or a citizen? The ideal person is a citizen. Someone who is compassionate, someone who is prepared to listen to opposing views, someone who is prepared to be honest, someone who will not spread falsehood, someone who will not backbite his brother or sister or his family members, someone who will be straight and be honest and decent. That is called a citizen. Someone who upholds the law, someone who will do the right thing, someone who will say the truth is called a citizen. Someone who will treat his neighbor as he would treat himself is called a citizen. Someone who will respect another human being as a human being, that is a citizen. Another person who will not look down upon someone, that is called a citizen. A citizen will only look down upon someone when that person is admiring the shoes that someone is wearing, rather than watching someone from top to down and criticizing them from what they are wearing and how decent that they don't look. That is a citizen. So a citizen, in short, is a decent, honest human being who has got respect for the law, for his neighbors, for his brothers, for his sisters, for his parents. That is called a citizen. But an idiot is someone who has got no respect for anyone, who is full of himself, talk too much, does not listen, does not take anybody's feelings into account, but doing everything for himself, by himself, want to be right at all time, and the world belongs to him. That is called an idiot. And we see that before our eyes, and it's happening in America. After elections, after democracy, everyone is saying that you have lost, and still, I don't want to hear anyone. So, according to the Greeks, anyone with such characteristics will be known as an idiot. And then you have the tribalists. those people who follow idiots. All that they do is to be tribal. As long as they believe the person, whatever the person says, they will just do it. They will just believe it. They will not question it. So those people are called the tribalists. They are so tribal that they've got their hand into a poison. They will eat it because their leader says that it is good for them. So that is what it means. So it's very, very important that in life, sometimes it's not about learning what you know, but exploring more things, you know. And to be honest with you, my children are encouraging me to go back to school and do master PhD in philosophy. And I'm so tempted to do it because when I do a bit of reading about these things, ancient philosophers, it empowers me, it inspires me, and it teaches me more about humanity and human behavior and humanity and human beings. So basically, that is the tip that I learned this week. 3 types of people: the idiots, the tribalist, and then you get the citizen. So what you need to do is to please do try your best and be a citizen, because that is the ideal human being that you should be around. D.I. Joe has also sent a say, oh, are you going to talk about USS application card update normally takes and all that? Yeah, I'll be covering that in the what I'm going to talk about now. So thank you very much for the reminder. Okay, now let's look at 2021, what is coming up in terms of the immigration and what is going to happen. As we all know, we are coming out of the European Union on 31st of December 2020. So that means from 1st of January, there is going to be changes in the law and how things are. It's very strange that yesterday I was talking to someone very close to me, and it came up in the conversation, and the person said, oh, lawyer, I didn't know that. And I said, but you listen to my program every day. How can you not know it? I speak to you all the time, and we talk about this. And the person did not register it. So today, he's asked me to take my time and explain it again, because still within our communities, some people still have not got it. So I will explain that and the time scale. D.I. Joe, you've also asked a question around the same area. So let's look at the changes that are coming up from 2021. Visa application process. As we know, Home Office have introduced this UK VAS system, whereby you submit your application online and you do everything online, even picture, you take digital photo and you send it. That is all well and good, and it is happening. Now, when they have your fingerprint, they are also encouraging people to use their application, IDV application, to do their scan, so that they don't need to go and do their fingerprint. But the reality is that at the moment the system is not working properly. You know, they send you the link, you try to take a photo, you place it, you follow the instructions, you take the photo, and they still tell you that it is not aligned properly. But then again, sometimes when they do these programs, they do it to fit maybe European kind of facial characteristics, because I've tried it on black people and so far I haven't been successful. So people are having to go to their centers to do their fingerprint and have their iris scan. Hope that with time the technology will then improve. Skilled workers, as we know, once we come out of the European Union, any party or any European national coming to the UK to work, if you are from the European Union, you will need a work permit. You cannot just come in and work as it is as today. It is going to change from 1st of January. So any employer who intend to employ Europeans to come and work for them, they're going to have to do the best that they can and basically apply for sponsorship. Also, skilled workers, from January 2021, the job that they will be offered will need to be at a required skill level of RQF level 3 or above. That is equivalent to A level. They will also need to be able to demonstrate that they can speak English and that they will be paid the relevant salary, which at the moment is 25,600. That is the rate. If they earn less than this amount, but not less than 20,480, Home Office will still be able to take into consideration trading profits to be able to assist them to meet the financial requirement. Home Office also have this Global Talent Scheme. The Global Talent Scheme, once again, is open to the world, and this will be open up to EU, EEA, and Swiss citizens as well. It will allow highly skilled scientists and researchers to come to the UK to work, even if they have not been offered a job. That is that one. And then you have the International Students and Graduates Scheme. This route, once again, will also be open to EU and EEA and Swiss citizens. Once again, they will have to apply for a course of study in the UK. They have to demonstrate that they can speak, read, write, and understand English. And they must also show that they have enough money to support themselves during the course of their study. Also, visiting the United Kingdom, if you are European national, what they say is this. EU nationals will not require a visa to enter the UK when visiting the UK for up to 6 months. This is what they are saying now. However, if you are looking for work, they need to apply to come in and work. Also, as I aforementioned, as I said, if you are non-EEA national, the deadline is 31st of December 2020. So try and put your applications in before 31st of December 2020. However, if you are EEA national living in the UK, you have up to 30th of June 2020. But this is only applicable if there is a deal. If there is no deal, Dukadaya 31st, we are all coming out. So we need to once again be very careful about this. Once again, I'm going to take my time and talk about this. Hopefully this time the message will go through. If you are an European national, or you have acquired a visa through your marriage or through your relationship with an European national, the law is that you have to, at some point, apply for EU settlement scheme visa. The EU settlement scheme visa, as it is today, if you already have a card which has been issued under European law, European regulations, if your card, they have written at the back or on it that you are EEA family member, that means your card has been issued under European Economic Area Immigration Regulation 2016. That is what it means. Now, we say from 1st of January, that Immigration Economic Area Immigration Regulation 2016 will no longer be applicable in the UK. That would then mean some people may have difficulties in convincing a layman that even though the visa that they are holding was issued under European law, it is still valid in the UK, despite the fact that we have come out of the European Union, because I have applied for settlement scheme visa and I've been given a letter. The letter will say that you have been granted settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme, but the card that you'll be holding, the card will probably say that you have been issued a visa under European regulations. So this is where the contradictions comes in. The question therefore is, why is it that the Home Office don't issue a card under the settlement scheme straight away? Home Office view is that it costs too much money to produce a new card. These are some of the arguments that the government has put forward. And therefore, if you have the old card, keep using it until it's no longer valid. Then you can apply for a new card. It has been speculated from 1st of January. If you are holding a card that is written on it, European Regulation Card, EEA family member, some people may not understand and you may have challenges, you may have difficulties, because as far as they are concerned, European law is no longer applicable in the UK. And for that reason, they will not accept it. Even at the airport, some people may have difficulties. Some people may have challenges. So it's for this reason that, Lawyer Darko, I'm advising anyone, if you know that you are going to be outside the UK on 1st of January, try and apply for a new card. Try and apply for a new card, even if you have applied for the settlement visa or pre-settlement visa. Because a layman sitting at the airport will simply say that we have come out of the European Union and therefore European card is not valid. You are going to look for work. Human resources manager, personnel manager may not know the law. He will look at your documents and throw it aside. No, I'm not going to give it to you because we come out of the European Union. And therefore your card that has got European Union family member is no longer applicable. Even though in theory, in law, it's applicable. So it is important that you apply. It is important that you apply for the card. And if you want to apply for the card, come and see Lawyer Darko. We will do it for you successfully. Someone has just asked, how long does the card take? Home Office have a standard criteria that any application that you submit, it can take up to 6 months. But Lawyer Darko, the ones that I have done for people, is taking about 2 to 3 months. So if you have done it for you and it hasn't come, please bear with us, because as you know, we are on a lockdown technically, and therefore most people at the Home Office, they are working from home, and therefore possibly for someone to go to the factory and produce the card, the person is probably still on a lockdown because of the coronavirus and the spike that came about. So bear with us and let's bear with the Home Office at this difficult time. Madam Pamford, good morning to you wherever you are. I greet you, or good afternoon to you. Gladys Jemfi, I should be calling you this afternoon, so bear with me. I will be contacting you shortly. Yes, Oba Eko Ejareye Nase Ocha. Men complain say wache Ebiana woye ne ho ye. Why? It me to was here my. Munyina mo twen nyina no. We will come back to you. Yevre film okra, we have not abandoned the ship. Definitely we will come back to you. Because when we start fighting, we never give up. We never give up the fight. We fight and fight and fight until we win. You know, but we fight sensibly because we are citizens. We are not the first one that the Greek said, or the second one that the Greek said. The idiot and the tribalist, we always try to be citizens. So that is how it is. So basically, we need to do that. You need to apply for settlement scheme, and if possible, apply for settlement scheme card in order to have your peace of mind. Vim Lady is asking, how much is it? How much does it cost? You see, one thing about justice and law is that it's like a family business, you see. When someone is a client, the person is not just a client, the person is also a family. And there are so many things that we do for the community that, you know, we charge peanuts, we charge pittance, and in some cases, we even do it for free. So do not think about the money. You come and see us. It's just a little bit of money that you have to pay. So do not worry about it. Come and see us and we will deliver. We will never let you down, and we will do the best that we can to make sure that you get to the promised land. We will not leave you along the way. We will hold your hand and we will go together. You know, so do not worry about it. Please, what are the requirements for application? Okay, in order to do the application for the biometric residency permit card for the settlement scheme, all that we need is your biometric residency card. We will also need your passport, and we will also need a proof of address, if possible, within the last maybe 2 years. Just each year, just look for one document to prove to the Home Office that you are still present in the UK. Why is that the case? It is the case in the sense that sometimes when people get indefinite or permanent residency, they can go and live in another country for 2 years. And as we know, if you live somewhere for 2 years consistently, then of course you can lose your indefinite leave to remain. So it is for this reason that when you are applying for the settlement scheme visa, Lawyer Darko, I will say that get your passport, get your card, biometric residency permit card if you have one, and also get your what do you call it, your passport, your card, and a proof of address for 2 years. Then we can then use that to make a successful application for you. Lawyer Dark, Justice and Law Solicitors, I would say, people who come to us, I would say about 99.9, they get what they want. If someone comes to us, the person doesn't get what they want, it may be two things. Either so much damage has been done, Lawyer Dark, I've tried my best and it didn't work. Or the person has done so much damage to his own case that sometimes, it's very difficult to resurrect the case. And sometimes, of course, there are also human error. We can also make mistakes, but we are human beings, but we hardly make mistakes as Justice and Law Solicitors. It's for this reason that we are so successful. It is for this reason that everyone tells you about Justice and Law Solicitors. I had the privilege of meeting this lady this week for confidential reasons I cannot mention. Said, lawyer, why is it that every time I ask people that I'm looking for a lawyer, your name keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up? That is the reason why I've been calling you and calling you and calling you. And I am so determined to come to you because now I am so convinced that this is my last stop. It's a privilege to be in this position. And I thank you all for making this possible. Because without you all, there is no way that I could do what I'm doing. Because it's 24-hour job and sometimes it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult task, very, very difficult job. All the time you are thinking, all the time you are looking for solutions to people's problems. But then again, you also have your own personal problem to deal with. But through the Spirit of the Most High and through your prayers, we have the vim and the energy, to carry it on. As long as you continue to support us, we will keep delivering and we will keep fighting for your cause. So we thank you. So the transition and the new laws that are coming up in terms of immigration and nationality law. Now, let's look at employment. Employment. This is yet to be confirmed, but this is something that the government is putting in place. And I'm giving you the head start so that we know what is coming, so that we can plan our life and also we can strategize. This is employment law, the timetable, what the government is planning to do from 2021. The government is planning of bringing in a policy that is going to increase the length of time required for continuity of employment to be broken. The government is bringing in a policy or a law that is going to increase the length of time required for continuity of employment to be broken. Cases have come before me whereby employers, when they were facing redundancy, they are being told that there was a break in their employment. So instead of giving them, calculating the redundancy pay for a period of 10 years, the employer, directly or indirectly, is trying to calculate it on the basis of 4 years services, which is not good, which is bad for the employer. Because when it comes to calculation of redundancy pay, they will look at the length of your service, your age, and your weekly wages. So if you have been working for 10 years and the employer is telling you that there has been a break in your employment and therefore I'm going to pay you 5 years, you can imagine the level of compensation also reduces significantly. The government have realized that some people have used technicality to cheat people. So for that reason, the government is bringing in a law, a policy to say that employment contract can be treated as broken if and only if the contract during maybe 5 years, 10 years ago, broke for maybe a 5-year period or maybe a 2-year period, maybe 2 weeks period. At the moment, it's not clear. It's not clear. So it is very, very important that we do what? That we know. Because one thing about law brings certainty. If a law is there and it's not certain, it's a joke. How would people follow the law? How would people respect the law? So law, one good thing about law, it brings certainty. It's for this reason that justice and law, we are straight. We are certain. What you see is what you get. As simple as that. That is what we do. So the government is bringing in a policy from 2021 which will bring certainty to this. The length of time required for continuity of employment to be broken. So, for example, sometimes you are working for a company, you may decide to take a break from employment. The employer will say to you, okay, fair enough, you can take a break, but anytime that you want, you can come back, as an example. So in your head, you might think that when you come back, it's a continuity of your employment because maybe it was just for 1 week. However, employer will say, no, there was no continuity because you left your employment. So when you came back, you started afresh. But if the government bring in a policy to say that if you leave your work for maybe 2 weeks and you come back, it cannot be treated as broken continuity. Then in that case, when they are calculating redundancies, they need to go as far back as when you started rather than when you came back. So it will bring certainty to this. Also, new rights for workers to request a more predictable contract. More predictable contract. And this one is aimed at those doing 0-hour contract. Because when you do 0-hour contract, you are at the mercy of your employer. One day they will tell you come to work, the next day don't come to work, so you cannot plan your life. Because you need the money, so you are like a yo-yo. You are called at any time because you are desperate for the money, then of course, you just take it and you just go and do it. Haley Gray, good morning to you or good afternoon to you. I hope you are doing well and I hope the twins are also doing fantastic. I've been watching you on Facebook. Hopefully, we will catch up soon. So that is how it is. They will make it more predictable. They will make it more predictable. That would then mean you are able to balance your work life to your family life. So it is very, very important. And as soon as, these policies or this law come into effect, by all means, I will also bring it to your attention so that you can watch out for your rights, because you wouldn't want anyone to stand up stand up against your right. So we need to basically watch out for that. And also those people working irregular hours. Sometimes they will just call you this week, you are doing this hour, that week, you are doing that hour, and basically you feel like you are being used. You cannot do what? Balance your work to your family, and therefore the government is bringing in policies to be able to deal with this. So a new right for workers to request for a more predictable contract so that you can also balance your family life against your work life. So we need to watch out for this. Also, income tax personal allowance is going to be linked to national minimum wage. I don't need to explain this. It speaks for itself. What the government says is this: any increase in the income tax personal allowance will take into account national minimum wage increases to ensure that workers on the national minimum wage working up to 30 hours per week do not pay income tax. So basically, it's going to be linked to national minimum wage. If you're doing less than 30 hours a week, then of course you're not going to pay income tax. So we need to watch out for this. This is yet to be confirmed when it's going to be effective. Once it is confirmed, once again, I will come here and bring you the information, and then you can check with your employers to make sure that they are complying with the law. Also, we need to look at extension of shared parental leave and pay to working grandparents. Once again, if you're a grandparent, of course, the government had made this announcement some time ago, whereby grandparents will also feature in the government policies in terms of helping parents and also the grandparents' involvement in this. State pension age, once again, between 2034 and 2036, the Pension Act of 2007 raises the state pension age for men and women to 67 years. This will occur between April 2034 and April 2036. If you want to see the act, you can go to OPSI website and you'll be able to get that. Once again, the state pension age will rise to 68 years from 2034 and 2036, and this will only apply from April 2044 and 2046. So as time goes by, the pension age is going up each and every year. The last area that I want to talk about before we speak to Mr. Asian and activate the telephone lines is Section 75. The 7 years policy time is not on our side, so I will leave that for next year because it's a big area that I need time to treat that topic. So please bear with me, and I do apologize that I am unable to cover that today, but I believe that you will understand. I've been talking for nearly 2 hours now, and time is not on our side. I've got a lot of work to catch up with. So bear with me. Next week, we'll be looking at those people whose children have been in the UK for 7 years, or children living in the UK for 7 years. And basically, we will cover that as well. So today, let me talk about Section 75 of the Consumer Credit Act. I'm very thirsty, so let me take a bit of water and drink. And then when we come back, we will continue. And also, when we activate the telephone lines, I'm going to ask for a favor. I'm going to play this song. I'm just wondering if someone can call the show and give me capella of this song. Kwadwo Entry. The song title is called Sikadam. The words in this song, they are so powerful. If you take your time and you listen to this, believe me, it will make a lot of difference in your lives. Everything that the man said in that song is so biblical that when you are not careful and you see his dreadlocks and you see the reggae tune and you see the song, you hear the song, you might think that this song is word song. Like we say, Area Senyom. But when you listen to the lyrics, you will see, say, this is preaching. This is godly song. No doubt about that. Tiwa wenim to no, ye bia matrofo ni tuma, fre neto nyom ne mame why. That is the favor that I'm asking you. The song is so powerful. Let me take this song, and when we come back, I will continue with the Consumer Credit Act. Yes. Thank you very much. If you listen to the lyrics of this song, it's very, very powerful. Osisika enye uwu edruwate. Enti no adia obeya ede wonkwa ebetwa so no you very careful because it's very important. Life is worth more than silver and gold. Now let's look at the Consumer Credit Act, Section 75. Many a times within our communities, you hear people saying that credit card is not a good thing. Credit card is not for everyone. That is a fact. For me, credit card is a good thing for me because I have used credit card effectively over the years. Over the years. And it has come to my aid and to my need when it matters most. Credit cards. But if you're not someone who can maybe be disciplined, that's the word to use. If you're not very disciplined about spending, then credit card credit card may not be for you. Someone is just saying that there is always a problem in the short route. Okay. There's always okay. We were talking about a song. Okay. Credit card may not be good for you. But one thing that I will say is this. If you are buying something and you are not sure whether what you are buying, you want it, whether what you are buying, whether it's good, whether what you are buying, you are not certain about it, then I think the best way is to use credit card. Because credit card and the Consumer Credit Act, Section 75, offers you protection if you make a payment by credit card. So for example, if I'm going to buy a car, as an example, and I don't know much about cars, and I'm not sure as to whether even the car I will keep it, or I'm buying the car for someone and I'm not sure whether the person will like the car, I think it's safe to possibly to use a credit card to buy. Why is that? Because the credit card will be able to give you some sort of protection if, for example, you don't want it. Because once you don't want the item and you get in touch with the credit card company, because the credit card company will be giving assurance to where you are buying the item from. If within the cooling off period, which in some cases is about 14 days, 7 days, it depends on how you bought the item, then of course the credit card will offer you some sort of protection if you don't want it, because it will then be up to the credit card company to fight it out with the person that you bought the item from to ensure that you don't pay. And even if the credit card company has made payment on your behalf, they will call the money back. So it is important. One of the advantages about credit card is that it gives you that security, especially within that cooling off period. The cooling off period, you know, I'm not going to go too much into details, but when you are purchasing anything, the receipt will tell you the cooling off period. The cooling off period sometimes is 7 days, sometimes 14 days, sometimes 28 days. So it is important that as soon as you buy anything or before you make payment, check the cooling off period. Examine what you've bought. Ensure that, you know, it is what you think you are buying or what you think you bought. If it is and you don't want to return it, then that is fine. But what it is that the credit card will give you that security that within the cooling off period, you are guaranteed to get your money back. Because if not, and you give the person cash, the person will come up with so many permutations to try to keep the money or to keep some of the money. So that's what I would say about credit card. Do the best that you can. The credit card, be smart with it. Don't just go and spend it because, you know, some people cannot help it. When they see that they can spend, they can't stop. They will just keep spending. But credit card for me is an effective way to be able to control your finances. It's very, very important. So Section 75, if anything, any payment that you have made by using credit card all the time, if there's an issue, look at Section 75 of the Consumer Credit Act to see what you can do. And if you speak to the credit card company, I would say most of the time they will do the fighting for you to ensure that maybe the item that you say you don't want, they call the money back so that you are able to keep your money. The last bit that I will talk about before I bring the program to an end and invite Mr. Eshen to have a word with us is new fraud that is going on. One lady has done a very good piece, a very good video, which I came across on Facebook. And it was so interesting how he was able to demonstrate how fraudsters are using certain banks and companies to defraud people. And she demonstrated this, and she did it so perfectly. Now, what happens is this. You'll be minding your own business, and you'll get a telephone call. And the telephone call will come in. Oh, hi, my name is John Doe. I'm calling from Barclays. I'm just wondering if I could speak to Mr. Moses Boama. As soon as you hear Barclays and you save with Barclays, straight away, you begin to believe that it is true that the person is calling from Barclays because the person wouldn't know that you save at Barclays. And the person will tell you that, oh, I can see from your accounts that there appears to be a fraudulent transaction going on. Someone appears to have used your card or your bank details to buy something from maybe Mumbai or India. As soon as the person said that, naturally, your heart starts pumping. Oh my God, how can this happen? And then the person will just start asking you questions. And you'll be surprised. Everything that the person is asking you relates to you. And it makes me wonder, how did they get this information? They can only get this information, either they have hacked into the bank system, or it's internal job. Or perhaps you have given that information to a third party. And that third party is abusing that information. That fraud is when you see it happening, you get shocked. I saw that on Facebook and I'm just wondering, wow. So this lady actually just called the number back. And she just mentioned the name, and the person is telling her, oh, put your account details. And she'll just put in random number. Oh, put your postcode. She was putting in random numbers. And the person was keep asking questions. Oh, look at the back of your bank card. There is a number. Oh, have you made this purchase over the past 2 years? Asking questions. So all that they were doing, asking information to build a profile. Once they get that information, they would then call the bank and pretend to be you. And then they will use your details, all the information that you have given them. Once the bank grant them the access, before you know, I don't know how they do it, before you know, they start using your card, or they start cloning your card, or they do something. Before you know, they start using your accounts to be shopping. And they have been very, very successful. And in fact, they have done one-to-one lawyer. They were able to take £1 million from his accounts, client account in Wales. They called the lawyer in his office and they mentioned the name of the bank. And they told her that, oh, we can see someone is trying to hack into your account. We can see that you have made these payments. Can you confirm that you made those payments? The lawyer panicked. and then straight away you start cooperating with them. I am telling you from today, if anyone calls you from a bank or pretend to call you from a bank, please be very careful. The best thing that you can do, let me take your number. I cannot talk at the moment. I will call the bank direct. Don't bother taking any number from them. Or take the person's name and ask the person which branch is he calling from. If the person is a fraudster, they will put down the phone straight away. Because the one that I saw on Facebook, as soon as she started asking questions, they put down the phone. Another one, as soon as the lady started putting random numbers and started asking questions that you are a crook, blah blah blah, the person put down the phone. So for me, the only way to be sure is that at the back of your card there is a number. If the person is on there, tell the person that I need to verify that this call is genuinely coming from the bank. And for that reason, I am going to hold the line whilst I use my other line to call the bank and check that you are genuine. Just tell the person that if the person is a fraudster, that's it, you will put the phone down. Because they are using that to defraud a lot of people. I've seen some people, £10,000 being taken from their account. I've seen a lawyer who made that mistake by believing them £1 million sterling being taken from his business account. Because they called him, oh, we can see that, they start talking. Everything that they were saying was true. It has happened in his account. And I don't know how they got this information. They called him, they told him to switch his computer off, switch it back on. There is a number here. What is the number? She made a mistake by giving that information out. If they can see and they know, why they're asking you questions. So it's not only about bank. Any phone call that you get, you need to know who you are dealing with, who you are talking to, because fraudsters are getting complicated. They are using complicated systems and they are getting people and they are frauding people. Don't become a victim. Be very, very careful. Open your eyes and watch out. That's all that I can say for today, because so many people are being taken for a ride. And for me, it is important that we shine our eyes so that, people do not lose out. We are going to go to Mr. Eshen. We are going to have a quick word with him, and then we will then activate the telephone lines. Mr. Eshen is a man. He's been so very, very helpful and very, very supportive over the years. And I've known him at least for about 10 years now. He's a man in charge of Amway products. People see me as a lawyer. You are getting young every day, despite the stressful job that you are doing. Yes, my job is very, very stressful. But through prayers and through the use of quality products from Amway, I still look fresh the way I look. If I don't look fresh, just type it and say, lawyer, you are lying, you don't look fresh. But I know that people know that I look fresh. Anyone that says that I don't look fresh is jealous. So buy Amway products so that you can also look fresh. So that is how it is. So let's go to Mr. Eshen. He's joined us. Let's have a word with him. And, on a serious note, if you use quality product from Amway, it helps you. If you come to my house, I have Amway product everywhere. Even food supplements, some of the things that I take, it helps me. For me, I sleep 5 hours and I'm okay. But you have to use supplements, vitamin D, vitamin C, multivitamins. Papai was so big brabegumi. I'm telling you, sometimes me shakra name you. Person me tiane kakra was one ye. And if you say can send you go for now so be free there be. You have to pay. Why? Nyame asem kra dey makwa no. And okra kwa so dey utua collection e tight. Na enti say Amway products. Enti utua do utua na so nya fresh no nya quality. Sister Abba me da sepa. O se lawyer you look fresh. Ayampa me da sepa. Me da no ase. Mr. Sean, Abba be joining us. Thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you. Good afternoon. Let's say.
Good afternoon, lawyer. Yamiadum.
Na enede na we mai. Yete won kan achi.
Yeah. But that's a brave. One day I couldn't with them and say, Yanka Amway, who product no hasam nya ncheche woda mayen no and as a lectures woda mayen no more deep yasom na ne mechanic say many mebusia yaso ahwe tama ne pese ya akwala baako ayeketwa ofigana ba me mess up man kasa me mess up because man ka fa lawyer at that time no you may fill applications no dey na dey unfortunately no omu refuse the second one OBC of Stanford to me bio of Karamu no ha na ye wonwa say home office ni bisa say offense saying yemfa kwala 3.5 years in school okon wa Ghana mbra wa break krum hapo unya 3.5 year won school international yentumi afamba na man for original birth certificate nan kan ho because my gen say bia ya gen say in case na kaira yenya foforo inti yade photocopy ne yade koye inti instead of send you be say oh akwara ma won wo ha so mo wo photocopy na e fancy original one na birth cert na yen fambra no when be saying sir straight away no gina so na orifice that time so nanam say ya pesa akwala na ba nti ye university ni yi ni miniti meanwhile ne pesa baba joining nti ohwe a parent no ha then akwala ketwa in 3.5 years or ba for visit nti as a result no mu refisi mienu nti no mu na egusi etie wo fence fete before no na make it we say lawyer be wo Bristol for justice and law solicitors nti e ho na make catch my wife and say who say lawyer be na Ghana ni so nti okasa wo so ifidie so ti yenti no ampaso yeti ni no ne na de nam se no say koto ya some to lawyer nenim ya de tunenim nti that times the last batch Cameroon time no utwa uwie addition 2.5 years on with the man
post study work
yeah post study leave no utwem into mu utwem no in our friends and you book lawyer no so that time the numbers have no our friends and the common rubber it's interestingly no you know I apply for post study in the mine into your contact no now lawyer apply post study leave at the mine visa no enya no na ye de fa akwala no so ye mo ka fan bae na the lawyer chose simple statement and bekai or say their condition have changed no ane no they come in process no brilliantly for friends and engineer so one ka say dey from ne yesa akwala no omo grant so ba obadwane into ya son ahwe ofiti that time akwala we 3.5 nda ya miadu mu 12 years nti yomu lawyer che we dia we lawyer your family lawyer sa me ya setna nti ne kan say nya no madofu Ghana community we bia wo problem bia man kasa wotwe jani ebra lawyer ho opa okwam also my son ahwe ya chinedi apart from that yes like that's be brave one boy we there with that boy saleche and emudo nti wo fancy yebekoso adawase amwe product to say na kanu no boy den kakra na ne mbeka ne say yembo modern NC scan yanto uta unim boya edbebro ebebre nia wo fancy ifri nia ubenya wo even beauty to say na kanu yo product ufa beauty nankasa no ho say within ewo mu but bibi ntina no ndema aiden ayira kakra obesan aba omodin contact amway na obi tin bed and besan aba e wo product say the bia yi spring water treatment system. Unya swan. About boy football. Moyan say, Ubasi San Frita Nakeke, no, and say, your 5 years warranty swore. Na product a most time. Unya 5 years warranty. Nature say, the papa. Inti young bombardier, say between Iden, Yan Suquanjiano. I be your bar, no delay, but no one monsieur. Yamiaduma. It's a tetrason say. Young bombardier, chemicals, the beer, chemical, a high adrian, chemical yard papa, because of side effect no day. They used to put that a bit now when it's not nasty to say, Yamay then, or the Amayano. Until I can say, you will put that in the brain. Apart from near, as somebody know in case of blood pressure, or diabetes, no, then you will put that one cassa so far. A bit to me as a son who dear. You will skin put that be brave or be good, no, dear so. And as I was saying, contact in your whole boom so be BCCC, you will do some your eating problem. They can come to me, I can say, put that in a pack. Won't to be a win, Jebby. On them per se in your Ghanaian community, yet I say, will be saying also be oh, may ye say, indeed, make me an way one. Ah, yes, sanity. For it to work properly, no, or so we are pack, no. We are packing a bit to me about. You want to boost your immune system to say vitamin D, not the vitamin C. No, you will need now. A quanjing. Doctors will put this time on treat coronavirus on any day. Oh, Sansa because say coronavirus, you put that to her. But my dear, contact now, our friends say in do shamble. Into Kakambaka, Afa, we put that on. Be we here be contacting able to me abo and me a medium tea. Until lawyer, Pacho Madasi be brave, so I may acquaint etisa.
Before so the corner, Sanka to me am my some of the normal product motonwa, you know, if you say our listeners is not a very beneficial to them. This week, strange enough, me no be kasa, when I call say when yakaka, and I'm say nakaka so be that so. I was a bit surprised, you know. And maybe I was a bit naive to think that way, but you know, these are some of the things if you say your community, no, I may not be conscious of it because I don't have that problem. So, enti ana me hu say ebi muso nantia paapai. Some people have that medical problem. So, enti no, sa niema na especially a higher community no, young crowd no.
Okay.
So get me listing it down. Any prices. Na ke bianca next week. O boss adie we din. O si say na ye price ye say. Sadie we ye say. Say price ye say. Na amanfo ahu said the product omo because me for example, me used to be into no, met more idea. Me some more Pepsi your friend saying toothpaste.
Exactly.
I Ghana for the toothpaste and only Pepsodent.
Yeah.
More toothpaste. No. We use tiwanum papa. Na papa bi ye ko che ne baako no na wo kan no mu nsem. Wow. Say what a product. What a product. Wow. So because also use you know who say it totally different from China dey now or use no.
Exactly.
So now who say there is a difference. Now a Sunday from there called the say no be no be use.
Okay.
Ana sa mouth spray no. Dey spray your mouth no. Eno so no ne man baako n'ani agye ho pa. Anna Oyobi justice and law was support you for years.
Wow.
So Anna Miriam Kasa same way, if we are saying Obe Papa ne, unim ada, edipane ya appreciate you. And you know, men ya wagene say why papa nipa no enka say we appreciate it, nipa no doesn't care. And I say nipa ne appreciate onye obi o appreciate bibi. Nipa act differently. Na emom ana entoboase ni nipa esi enya because me study nipa, be the command ni age pa. And he wasn't expecting it. So, Entino sana etie, Entino sa production so eboa. And I know say Musa won chancing. And chancing no a big wabi brebe, chesemekra media menfanye. So, one mammy different types. And also only do aduane a. Say ukata so na say, o de no aduane wi a chapanse na adwo.
That's correct.
5 years, 5 hours. So I still ash. I did not still look fresh, which I was surprised. You know, because you didn't know rice. The next day, and no panel me quite when I'm so my main TV for lunch. Me be a software as I have which I was a bit surprised. You know, so it's very good. And at least you know some more water filter and so no say me tonsu and one ameno. So until you have so many different products.
Exactly.
Me feel say and so pa ebeboa Ghana for. But mesra unyanto boase. Me so the microphone busa no me testing nyina abrem.
Okay.
Now when your time price products no de ne price dey na ye koyanim ebeboa ye nua no cause e be a problem but onye obi nka nkyere no ana onim baby obenya ho aduru so obi wa our bumps at the back of his head amani ti ho aye basa e ma no bebre tri nye bubu and ye mama bi o ma ni product bi obedi dance ye kire me apart from ye mama Mary Boatma another one in the same boni din o hwe sesi a o frame ka chem say me damase pa na papa ni product no e very good na papa no ne ho jo party say wa na o frame na se do be se nyanto wa se a kire oni emem so ho ebi so ka sa problem no ka wanto kan ko hye ne hye ne ho o twitwa the picture nyina be kire me anya grow na me yes and effector product in a have so you know I was very pleased as so be mono aye adwuma amano and I'm hoping say it will continue to do wonders for people within our community. Don't suffer in silence, you know, because any problem beyond there's a solution. Only that you need to speak to citizens. Don't speak to idiots and don't speak to tribalists, but speak to citizens. Thank you for the baker. Madam Pamford, me chacha baby I will be so it is sanity because you see oton wo yarea ana wonya anwadru enti eja papa ya so me chia papa ya waje me chia enti no sanity enti wo kan yarea na nya anwadru me de product ade ma me minim effector e have wo me so anyhow it is helping me obit me ka lawyer every day you are looking young and through your prayers yakobon so say o bompa no di shane mawa na so atu anamo enti no me so anamo me to me the amway product ni to anamo I'm taking the combinations at the brain nyina and it's helping me it's helping me papa and the man can be because you do na ye dikra no e one way food one balance you know one touch and we are na one efa o de no multivitamins na balance your system no so see I make me weight I've been able to maintain my weight obi ehun me lawyer what slim kama and yes slim I eat what I eat but I'm very careful you know and I'm very watchful what I take in it's me na eboa me ewo ekwan bebre so and you know you da masepa for all your support over the years
lawyer Mpacho now me Kimbo Charles so say what fans obi contact me I'm putting me call na me katina mu fie nti me katina mu fie no na mu hu say saa dia omoye fine to me nti me so mentor amway put that back on chew na mentor Gresta paste toothpaste no me de chew and so na papa no o confirm say me po mo wo fine say cacao na manunu mana se be use toothpaste be brain na wo de we wo de bremi sonko kra wa ma me cacao na ejai nti mentibio na so see yo cacao wo over 10 years ni na menu monsieur no na metumi num ice water na ni na de na me agene no ni na de nti me ti pains so na so I won't carry also no so me minim until so the toothpaste be na wa fan say me taste BUC na atukaka asi madam atomy into order for family na me order for me the man answer be fear nti wa fan say ti say na wo kan obi a na sa papai ye woni na product wo ye wo keke just lotion keke on sheda ye dia wo na so be ye mo yan so the baba pastor ti say dia sadi what the yes nankasa be clean bibia butu bibia say na bibia wati o bibia nti yame adom next week kisa na waka when they study na maka one product by one product each yeah then how much we nti bibia here problem there na so there will problem biara on contact and yame adom ebiti na aboa
ana de ba ko so a me concern wako aya na on certain medical yibi on ma within our community now ana very difficult for people to tell people because obi wo ho naturally no nanum bon there's no good way of saying this making obi hwe no ka say eh lawyer we rude but minim say the way say can nanum bon what I mean how nice can you be to say this there is no nice way of saying it so and you know sometimes let's call a spade any panel or was our problem na yen can accept say a part of life ni nyina e wiase mu asem enti nanum bon a product be no betimi use how much it is obu so an skin ankasa wo body odor ne ho bon ankasa obu anya ne fault o a medical condition a medical problem but where the kokachiro obi so obi wo kɔ ne yere nkra no wo pam no masa kokokokoko don kam egu aware edemu osu ye bu mema bi asum ye bro mema ni bi mu because baby ana ne ho bon so enti no mesre wo sa ne ma no se obetimi listing nyina baby be so a empem agro oye anu agya ne ho enkoyi obi wo so a on the other side sorry mpo so these are problems is going on behind closed doors. And in Greek terms, they might say that such a person is probably idiot.
Yeah.
Because you say monyom, also you say monyom. You are self-obnoxious. You think you say you are right. So it's important, you know, be a citizen, admit where you are going wrong, what you are not good at, and work on it. That is a citizen. So according to the Greeks, we have the idiot, we have the tribalist, and we have the citizen. Citizen is open-minded. The citizen is prepared to take criticisms, know where he's wrong, and do something about it.
Yeah.
But the idiot is like a fool who never see what is wrong with his, you know, utterances and what he's doing wrong. You know, so that is how it is. So yeah, that was a part this week. I'm on for Fran Efre and Tiabefa. I say I need 10 people to really meet. Masa, you too little a whole be a deal. Obisina, a person or your marketing or hano. Only a chrono, you be my block or a legal program, yes, Ropi. Yenia brow, you know, over too little. Or sad the Ghana number, good screen, so. Delete this here, any abrewati, shit.
Yeah, until I have made a civil brain. Last one is say, who pain simple. It will be a bunch of pains. A book home pan and nay or fines and be a weak castina at chino and not saying probably will be a contact here. I am maybe to me a ball until Medasa be brain. Made the minimum battery jar 075 076 30 487 075 076 30 487. Now we'll call a website is www.amway.co.uk/user user/ms contact here. Yami had my but my boy until I have that the brain. Yamin come.
Yes, my mission tree casa were fidi so. And so, what can me dasi be bria or no yagini? Why, you can't be dasi p. That means thank you very much. What can me dasi be bria? I just said thank you very many.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. Yami inshra. Yama miss your chica sa yet no alternative and kakran kakra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and a cheat no didn't say boy too. Sanity. Sanity. Yes, yeah, that was it. I feel your baby my true for nothing. Now our question be episode busano. Was so what's me idea afre ebusa. ye program ni nyina amanfo abegu so pii enti number ye di djuma no eye 07538 ame ensanka biem eye 07538 969 589 ano na ye di djuma no sisia afi na ye bi amatrofo natum se opese ofra sa number na ese wofre and your be 15 minutes per the program be na wie because of time factor. Next time you 1 o'clock but you take another 35 minutes. And you for 15 minutes and can na yemfa djuma no enye de emra de wie. Mo ana mo frɛ no obetimi afrɛ sisia number no ye de atudwa ye de atopono so. Anti obetimi idea afrɛ. Yenkwe. Hello. Hello, mpacho nipa wo frɛ no obetimi akasa ne frɛ sɛ na hin akasa frɛ.
Yo, nura that's pi. Me dinde kwabena ofori ansu. Because of free London.
Kwabena ofori ansu from London. Kwabena ofori yenkwe. Ade na your ma one. Ana sɛ de na enye ma ne.
Yo, no question be na question na me be that no. I don't know konto kan kakra. Nti me be gina ho na makasa me na atome so that obi atome bia no na me boa obetime nya answer na yi ya fa say me ye family member you are indefinite and me kita old card maybe card now come was say nke be ya me apply hansa na fe na kola wi no me near me what that maybe. But unfortunately, no, the Ghana passport so I expired. And I requirements also I work on no passport so I can be.
That's right.
May apply passport no, may renew no. Date ever me ever is around January and February because of COVID-19. Ghana commissioner never be in course papa which date no actually. This means me sabe come passport no na your 2021. The question is see ya no yamba is me say passport no take me every say break up him for me sabe passport so me to kwai na me go share le man bia wo airport say na wo chire mu no it is man to kwai kura na me say passport no 2021 still na no me go change card na home office for no e problem bi enu bi bia be okay ana say e do one so asem wo
my two question asepa ana very clear ana I'm glad they say obusa sa question because ebe boy you anum bebre 2021 ba na wo kwa akwaje card na okay make us a train my passport in emra because what happened is they will link the card to your passport so it will very simple it will give you peace of mind and that would then also mean 10 years in a passport in a valid for no card ne so be valid for 10 years na ni nyina asia said there unya problems bia and economically no in a long term no it will also save you money and for me so be kita passport okra na say aka 1 year amana wu make us onye passport for ana ye free mu 31st no and only nkyere say sa card no untimi apply after 31st you can apply after 31st it make us a train
yo me that's it
but you say no na bibi odiem
okay me the kitchen bi tiato unka say no o kan bibi say yayi o kan bibi say am say first ko okay na o ma ju say me bi say na say waka say aka obi passport be 1 year e ka obi betu no say only new no nya 10 years no and I say nfie dodo na our passport so ansa na o da akopla adibia o pese oya ebe boa da achi na on sign ko we bio na on sign ko trace ka foforo.
That's right.
The question pese me bisa wa say ye nim no say aka the passport 1 year me wo hutu me o say make ma ko embassy o say the passport na aka 1 year mu ye no na mbom me pese me renew na me nya foforo ene ya ana say e wo say passport no kojo ansa na what ma akori ni
ubetimi renew straight away you don't have to wait for your passport to expire before you renew. A mistake Ghana for ye. Emre bia no ye my passport new and send you could renew. After in between renewal, any time passport in a no. Ope bibia koye identity and we need valid one. Et me say passport aka 6 months amene we renew. But obismeka say esa na 6 months ahiegu. Hwebi e won adwene hwebi motirim. But I want you to bet me the abrego no. It's not worth the 6 months ya ubeto agu no. Pacho what you say? Yem fa say a BBS fie. Na say wo content me na any passport. Na wo kwa na say wo ba. Na chuchurobo. Intimacy pi yenye habit of say passport ebe ka 6 months amena wu a no sha say renew. Said ya by the time e be wu no na kita another passport. Na wo saka. Enti ekwache wo say ye you e dey answer be can send a passport e wu. So at all times you have valid form of identity. Pacho what you say? Enti a good idea, a good practice. Say we are said ye nyina ye esua. So obi nima obi kire. So me say the passport ye mani wu. E ka be 6 months the alarm atoso. Na sha say e bele. Na pressure na start. Enti at all times I have valid passport.
No correct.
Sanity.
No, me do ase na no correct. Me da ase bebre. Me da ase pi. You want ya na I tell them go video actually. Me da ase pi. Me ko no. Me kan se ba ko akere anuanom a yeti wo. Say lawyer there wa unim no free tete no, unim no free tete. Na say utie na say o ha obi a wo no okonanim na utie na say o try say the ono akere no obefa sa na mo no so a 99.999 o sabata de owe.
Hey, I check DNA results.
Papa. Me I say any pay there. And sometimes mrane timi sesa. Say no bi ani pan bebo anim no de obekire say obekire na say o ye we ya. Wait my be the next day na mrane sesa nti na nipa na dwen say oh lawyer na pass no can am. And nti mama no bet na 999. That's right. That's that. You can remember 150% because nipa mi nim say about lawyer obia de successful. Na mo minim se meka no bebri ama ka se me dwoma no nti no na ochena na obi kona ne de asem kito nko ba wana ki akwa se o ipa so me asem o kan ready so na nge no kore enu nti na me de sa panya na ka nti me ne meka se lawyer de so ko lawyer ni no cho se fa ABCD bla na so ko tumi ko fie ko your homework na tunya ABCD a mini ya tuda na fa yi me nyame.
Yes, that was a part for your continued support. Nyame enshira wo nyina eche busu ani nyina asoso afei wana ofre no oso ubetimi afre yego so etwen mo call yenteki some few calls na afei no yemfa adwumadie no emra na wieye edipai wa afre continuous enti ma men friend back men hwese metimi afre ne back I may say in very important issue na say questioner opese obusa ti ma men enfre ne sesia na afei yenhwe ti be besi akono sana etie. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Laura.
Me who say what try so be room but o boss we mo fache me. Na pacho din de say na ka say free.
Pacho din de Kofi Osei Kofi.
Osei Kofi, when I footballer na.
Pacho there.
Kofi say young kwai.
Pacho me tia munya.
Wo me nyina nyina so ye jo so.
Me am to some question.
Akwan da o Kofi.
The question they say no oba okuta British passport. Now or ebia obema oba no okuta British passport no obe found. Now test English test Ghana and at the buyer we try 2.5 new year. What about UK now we try 2.5 new year. Okoye second one now be sa koye English test
a bit dependent. The Etienne say if we Ghana a back room, most people will do something called level A1 English test. And it's a test now and say level A1 English government and I say British government as I say ubetine krumwa was your level of English, you know, as a improve. And to say, oh, call for extension, you must have at least a minimum of level A2. And from A1, no, so to me upgrade doing kakraba A2 minimum. And to be a new English test called level A2. And I don't know obey. But personally, I tell people to go and do B1. B1 no a bit more higher. Now, a test I be pass it, don't worry about it. The meeting I can say A2, you know. So YouTube, if you have access to internet, just go to YouTube and put in level A2 IELTS English test. Examples were into tia pass straight away. Obey okay. Now afe no, unya pass we na unya extension na men twen e matam ne nso ensa na akoye life in the UK test no. Uwi extension na no asha say prepare towards the life in the UK test. Because life in the UK test, the trouble with women is say what came matam ni been too much. What being say okoya be failing. Because you put pressure on yourself. You find saka be 1 month. Now utam na so. Now fi na akoye test no. Pressure alone will make you fail the exams and your ability. And to personally give yourself time. Now uvie your friend is saying second the second extension and ma wona no shall see to book no shall see esua omo audio ho and so ko YouTuber examples ho na wa shall see ye nin kakra saa into the kopim na se wo tehwe kra na memo ba mumu sa ko ye biem. One thing that I will say to our listeners, our Ghanaians, they say ukoye test na failure okache wunu ano osrew we see the be ni wom what failure you go and do another one obu okoye one pelu failure osme dem abre mintimi nya biem hwe bebre failure de show mo nka njire obia but nipa de pass dia o de chiro bia se ma pass so enti no your community no there are certain characteristics bi ho no ma aya yenye careful aya sebio aya na nhwehwe animu ye de bibi ho no ma ye pese de chairman se nyina hu se me na ma yesi ana se me na ma yesi na emom the real cost a share no nobody sees it they make sense what you say entibe mo ba mu koye level A2 no na e move on why
me da se pa na me sha
ase me da wase ejakofi bye bye okay yen frɛ papa yi so back na ono so air fresh na ontimi enwrem. Hello, good afternoon. You are live on Facebook. Pacho din de say na kase free.
Yeah, friend Mr. Sefa.
Mr. Sefa na dey bit me ayamane.
Pacho, Mr. This question back. My EU settlement scheme. I'm almost attending mail me say they are giving me indefinite. But in the letter, no, and almost say by 10 days time, I'm sending the biometric card at them. But 10 days later, up to 15 days, but still, means I can have them the first no more.
Okay. Already on a switching off my wine. Thank you. Okay. Biometric card, Dada.
Old one, yeah. No, it will 10th December.
Aye. Enuntina, omamre new one, no. Ananya dia, ombebro new one. Omo policy ne say card ni bi Dada ne ye old one na.
Yeah.
Yen fa bi mrew. Gise wa sheda aya application for it.
Okay.
And tuba na be hu ye ya, ye beti aya sa application ni bi ama. Na wanya card a eni ye settlement scheme no etali mpacho so ati ase and then na ye kan ho asem ne no why because from 1st of January e ko no baby o na card e create kitawi o de kwa o meka cho say yenye because ye free you anything na ye bo Ghana for deuro ye bo amane ya kan ho asem na still nkrofo bebre enim enti wo nua bi a na so wo tunefo no educate no no aka akire no se de ono so asemboni bi meto no mpacho what ya say santie na ye fa ni nkomo na ye nuanom ehu de ekoso because Jamaica for ambetene kromu a Windrush scheme e baaye no Windrush problem e baaye say ya na start yo omo buy no mkita indefinite because that time no nem ran say ufri Commonwealth country Jamaica be kromu a uye ukita indefinite enti no buy no omutumi bebie bank account e call system ni mu enti omo fi say na ehu hia mpo so be apply for British passport afi na emrani change na emrani change afi na emrani change afi abedru mre bia ukọ baby a yesi where is your prove your right to work 40 years 30 years wato ne niam agu ohun baby bi da sabi o se ne Jamaican passport or the back rekita na udi ko kire obi a yawo ne na obeda hu 40 years ago emra onte wase 19 they have had problems upon problems and within a justice and law solicitors le adako media me say me campaign every week I will talk about this until say Ghana ni bi eso GB until say our listener be a so GB enyebi said they are 10 years time 20 years time there two Jamaica for no Windrush scheme generation no ebi emeto ye nuanom ene enti no ye na ye fani nkomo ye fani konkonsa na ye nuanom ye indicate ye ho na ye nyi ye ho emfiri sa haw ni mu because eye hawa with the market on the wall would about 10 years time yes obi enya indefinite and so you deport on by mistake because enipa no na so be ye den the year king obeka se duka daya I don't care after 10 years time no ni amane so e bia 30 years on si Ghana da ni akoja na si kotoka obeta na se pure water ni ono bu nti wi ase etu eti sana etie why you don't see me
pacho in this case no requirements ben may they apply for
okay obehia wo card na ba be with December no obehia wo passport and obehia 2 years evidence of living in the UK.
Yeah. Okay,
that's it.
Pacho. My I confused kaka.
Okay,
in this case, let email no on the buyer say me expecting card for 10 days time no and no they are not going to respond to it.
They are not going to respond to it. A standard letter. Standard letter no and also do dino address is just any ato abro. Some machine e print. So ana machine no sebio any adwene e ba ko your immigration record to see say who card and so any card. So enti a general letter. Or press a button and na print aba. Enti do any go to say wo try card dey a and e just metu salasa baby.
I say my move for to pressure or machine. I don't know.
Enti no brane be hu ye ne twa kakra ne nyama na adwumamfo ne nya wasomdwe why okay edasipi your number
Monday nyame adwo make me after mobile number
I will bet me after Monday why
okay
pacho dini say bi
Sifa
Mr. Sifa no problem at all what you fair be sort in your time
yes after me that sponsor
what's after me dia kan and you bet you double I say obi anu ni obi o ana unsa ye nyina free adam ani fufu asa sanity e da se bebre e just fa okay you take care bye bye okay mse be fair last call na fe na dwumadi no ye dia ba wi ye time na afa bia kama ye be ne yakọ cause dwumadi e bigu ye so about 2 o'clock 3 solid hours ana ye disi anama no. Hello, Nampacho Wendy, one make us say.
Pacho, Mammy, what money?
Mammy, what man from Dawson?
I know I at the car to offer me back.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Now, lawyer, for that someone who came my experience at research. And I'm present to you for it. May we have a beautiful, me broad mind. Omo so let them for Omo the bad 2 months ago. Omo track post office be the buy and kwala share. Ya she says we are afraid 2 months ago. Ya she say you used to be here. Afraid me wa be 2 weeks ago. Me nya phone call say we ya adwuma beach. Na we be share broadband na mane. Na me say oh broadband and she said, I'm going to crash. She said, yes, and I'm a yan, she said, also I had more beach. And you over 2 minutes walk from me. And you walk back a pipe where men go share, you know, wait, shall, I never say, I be a one, Lieutenant, yes, my name of Johnson. Or should there be 2 minutes walk, since you know, Banam says, I am here. Afraid the other two one of the free beach for them catch on to be things. Now, my mama, over she brought my men, and almost a fraud. Or bar in the economy and manner. Now, only me say, or can't 5 minutes time, or can run 10 minutes time. And over Bob, no, put you on mission, so you are so me who love the
That's right.
And I mean, who love the when see well, move and free habits, the police about midday, we are for. But contact beautiful, almost we are for a fraud. Or she beat it one time, you be a tabajo. Can you believe? And I'm catching to a fraud or what? Because I have your most same engineer, because I'll be one away the ultimate.
That's right.
Because I know what we are there, shall to a member and go for an now, what I was here, not for beautiful or go special me. I want to be teach him, give me fast, you know, already. And I'm so who we are in a beautiful one of them say, and to live on a virus, I may describe no engineer, and no my son and some property. And today, as a main form of that's a bar. And she has some walk on a yellow color, and a bank of Kuma. I dear, almost your normal be free, and she ain't very, very careful. Said you see, Canada. Almost a crumb for people are not called, said you will be a bonnet, maybe your other sister, you are, but you soon if you are, over the sister. And she crumb for the another crumb for. And she lawyer, matter what you did, I'm told of so. Papa, no, I mean, me come and go to you, Mom, Bombay, and I'm also not making Papa. Papa is very good. Now, the best student to me will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Papa, now, catch on as the best student, but you're not just what you tell me. No, maybe clinic college. Just a lawyer, yes, you. And now, we should not be you. Sir. Let me through one of the who Papa radio system. With you who are paying a pretty toilet bridge and some lady who will know best students. Be who be those lawyer.
It's very good.
Very, very good. In America, the best students feel very good. And one would take, and who you so 1 year from another to you so for one.
Yeah.
And check, I mean, I'm a the bad, I was very depressed in it to you so. And you know, we are very sick on a pawn, you're the sick on a part of the past. Over shop, over £2, £1, and so on. And yet, you mamma, when you won't take, then you wouldn't change, would you good toilet in 5 minutes for a branch studio? And now saying I will try 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And you, what did you show? So 50, that. You know, between you say, and I'm not making one answer. I want to say you're very, very good. And you know, after that, I said, I'm way. And now they are ready to be clinic all this one. You are preparing too. Maybe I said that anyone has a.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
so yeah, that was it for your continuous support over the years. Mami Boatman and Moten and Kano or Tayechi say, you know. I said by finding form, Sana etie. Entie the Munina Masi. A Jack Chris, air free. But Frebe 4 times, it's my friend back and I feel you made him run away. Menya signal set time and a swamp so. Obi so say share camera ni mu, enti me share camera ni mu. Ai, obe ni dey. Enti sana etie. Enti no ya da mu nyina amase. Na nyame enhyira mu nyina. Yemfa Eja Chris emra na afi no, yemfa dwumadie no emra na wie. Hello Mr. Chris.
Good afternoon, lawyer.
Good afternoon to you. Now I say free him just for the for the benefit of our listeners.
Like I saw free London.
Aye, okay. I didn't bit me a man if.
Disabled now of person or worry with the different flower. Yet and also Ghana or one with banana because of 18,000 there, 18,600 or to me that information with the Ghana with flower with banana.
General law need se nipa ni nkrata sana etie e wo se okọ Ghana na okọ mare ne e de neba na emra na so can say there are exceptions enti nipa ne be depend ni disability no any difficulties I depend be face e practical say nipa betimi akọ Ghana na there are so many things you need to look at before making a judgment. But general rule, they say yes. You have to meet the financial requirement. The person will have to return back to his home country if the person doesn't have papers. However, there could be avenues. There have to be a very good reasons. And for example, your medical evidence, such as say because of disability, it won't be through plainer. Me feel said lawyer Darko, we can fight it and do it here. In terms of financial requirement, there are certain benefits. So a disabler likely to obtain disability living allowance or disability benefit. And the financial requirement, in some cases, it will not be applicable. And this is a type of case that are very difficult to give straightforward answers. But with me book appointment now we can go through and check each point and then give you tailored advice so that you know where you stand. Pacho, what am I saying? Okay, when me anyina so okay. Ntimi sure say what dey kan anyina. Okay. Ya di djuma no eba na wie 3 hours a long time. Enti da mu nyina ma se. Next week nyame adoma ye besai ahia biem. Ya di nyame jamo. Obi ade to bia. Asas Ventures. We know that you have tuned in. Thank you very much for following us and for watching us. Ajay, thank you for watching us. Thank you for tuning in. Yes. Obin family, thank you for tuning in. Asantua Efia Ajakum Obin, good afternoon to you. Papa yaw Ajay also me chiachia me know dia yeshibom ya tarefam se baptime ba fine form Abasaki baby I will be a chiachia Maria Sanda ya chiachia baby I will be around Young Quibby yes Moses Buama, baby, I will be a Shachia. Madam Helena Pomford, I salute you, mommy. Nami Aduma, next week, Yebesai Asia BM. Name and Kamunao, na on Shamoso MIA. Amen.